Hello and welcome to Now Chat Show. I'm your girl Kaz Mac alongside this diva.
Your girl Miss T in the house.
How are you, Queen?
I'm fabulous.
Yeah, how's your day been today?
My day's been amazing. I went to go and get my hair done, and it's always entertainment when I go into the shop. So I've
Which
got
shop do you
two.
go to? We got to big up the shop.
I go to Hair by Chi, which is on Leeds Road, and I've been going there for 10 years now. So it's him and Zion. So they do my hair. Yeah.
It looks fab. It looks really fresh. You can tell that it's
I've
freshly done.
actually got a really lovely pattern. I fancy the pattern, sometimes. I haven't had it in a little while, but this, and even my daughter's like, you don't normally wear your hair like that. But let me just show you. Can you see it?
Let me put on my shades. I can see a line, but I can't see the pattern. I can't see the design. You'll have to send us a picture. I vaguely can see. You'll have to send me a picture so I can see it.
It's 3 lines and it goes round to the back and goes into like a heart. Yeah, it's nice.
Oh,
I really like it.
That sounds so cool. That's so beautiful. Anyway, guys, we just hope you are doing well. Thank you so much for tuning into Now Chat Show. You could be anywhere, but the fact that you're here with us, we are so grateful. We just want to big up our guest from last week. How am I going to pronounce the name? I'm going to pronounce the name correctly. Agel. Is it Agel?
No.
It's Agel. Oh God, there we go again. So you're not going to help a sister out. Agel, if you're watching, you know what, Orjani, I'm not gonna do this to myself. Thank God. Our guest today, who's going to be joining us very shortly, who's going to be telling us about an upcoming event. Her name is Maxine, Miss MG, so that's straightforward. And then our main guest, his name is Stephen, so that's really straightforward. So guys, please pray for your sister that she can,
You'll be great.
Anyway, how was Carnival for you? It was Carnival weekend. How was it?
Are you asking me?
Oh yeah, you didn't go, did you?
No, I'm not a Carnival fan. I'm not a Carnival. I love to hear people go and express themselves and have an amazing time, but it's really not for me. It's overwhelming. It's too energetically. There's too many people for me. And yeah.
Well, guys, if you've been following me on Instagram, you will see on my my 24-hour post that we was at Saxon Sound. Big up Saxon Sound, sister. And it was proper lit. I'm not even gonna lie, it was proper. It was cock. Carnival was cock, as it was super busy. Super busy. I guess 2 years at Carnival. What did we expect?
Has it been 3? Is it 2 or 3?
They say it's free, but we had Carnival in 2019. So it's 2021. We're in 2022. So this will make it the 3rd year, but we've had Carnival in the 3rd year because this is the 3rd year, right?
This is the 3rd.
We just haven't had Carnival for 2 years. That's just how I saw the maths, but maybe I'm incorrect. If anybody can correct me on that, that'd be great. But it was nice. Big up to the Queen, like Tremaine in the building, the life guide. Thank you so much, Queen, for joining us this evening. And big up to all of you that is there and obviously being a bit shy, but you know what? It's not about shyness when you come on a Now Chat Show. It's all about taking part because guess what? It is the month of happiness. I didn't even know that until I did the research. Didn't even know that existed, but obviously we're in line with the universe. And our guest today will be sharing about just that, talking about releasing the joy within. Yeah, that's the topic, releasing the joy within. Oh shoot, I've got the wrong one out. Damn. I thought I done. Don't worry, guys. I'll update the title, the topic. I thought I'd done it. I clearly done it, but I didn't save. But anyway, we do have an upcoming event that I will be at this Friday, guys. We're going to be bringing our guests in very shortly, so just bear me one moment. Yeah, guys, we've got our guest who's going to be sharing about an upcoming event. Well, I want to show you the cool video. Just bear me.
Why
Don't
you doing that? I want to ask you, how was African spiritual practices?
Oh my girl. Oh, by the way, guys, it was awesome. And guess what? She's Akua's got upcoming event for African spiritual
October.
practices, October the 14th and the 15th. I'm going to share the link so you can buy your discounted 50% ticket, £12 and change today.
Hey.
So I'm going to share
Hey.
but guys, it was absolutely phenomenal. It was mind blowing. It was
I met somebody in the shop when I was getting my hair done. Lovely sister.
Yeah.
She done both days, and she was just like, "Sis, it was so awesome."
It was deep. It was deep, man. I was on a high. I couldn't even go carnival on Sunday because the vibration I was on from Saturday, I said, there's no way I can't have any, like any kind of energy is going to be.
It was blissful.
It was that deep. It was amazing. Like we had Atlantic Clyde, who's talking about astrology. He's going to be joining us next week. He's confirmed he's going to join us next week. He's going to be talking about astrology. For all those who's a bit skeptical about astrology, don't worry. We got the man who's going to be kind of explaining everything to us. And he also does reading as well. So you can book in a consultation with him. Then we had Saya Ray, who was doing like linking you back into like having, it's kind of like an healing kind of ceremony. So yeah, she was there as well. So I think it only makes sense. We're going to invite Akua maybe next week to just like run over everything over with us. But we will share the link for the 50% ticket. But in the meantime, guys, we do have an upcoming event that we do want to share with you guys. But check this out.
If you got tissues in your bag,
I cannot wait to go. So the queen herself, who is the event organizer of Ladies First, Ladies First, Ladies First. Yes, Queen, Miss MG.
Miss MG in the house.
How are you, my beautiful sisters? Sending love,
receive. Back to you.
No makeup, no eyelashes, no eyebrows painted, no nothing in my natural formation today.
Mate, you look beautiful. If this is how we're waking up and seeing you, girl, you don't even need all of that.
You woke up like this, yeah?
So do tell us about Ladies First. Tell us about this upcoming event that's taking place this coming Friday.
So Friday is our monthly, North London's monthly night out for the ladies over 40, over 50 and over 60. Ladies First has just been created through lockdown, basically. We've been holding it every month since December, beginning of, we'll be in 2021. So December will be 1 year. And it just came out of an idea of having conversations with lots of my other female friends. Everyone was talking about, you know, how many deaths there had been, menopause, funerals that they had been to, things that they were going to, and everything just seemed to be like on a downer. And I said, where do we go as older women that we can just come together, spend some time, have a chat, talk about all the things that old women like to talk about. We talk to our girlfriends on the phone about menopause, divorce, relationships, cellulite, our stuff that we deal with, that I find sometimes as Black women, we don't open up and express. Violence, domestic violence, breaking up, singleness, marriage, all of these things. But we don't have enough like powwows. And with the greatest respect to everybody, I say we're either going too far one way with the whole motivational side and let's, you know, get you empowered, or too far the other way and we can be over spiritual. I believe that everything should have an equal balance. So it kind of came out of that, where we can just have some fun, come together, have a laugh, listen to some good music. I'm also a catwalk and runway coach. So I have a class that I run that's called Handle Your Heels. And I thought, how can I get women just feeling good about themselves again? Bring your shoes out and tell your story behind your shoes. And it's just developed out of that. So I kind of just teach the women on how to do things. And amazing. No two events are ever the same. I've had great feedback and I've had great support. And I'm even more excited because I'm getting more female DJs. That's what I've been looking for, on more females that are setting up business and they're taking the little pop-ups, turning their hobbies into business. It's been an exciting journey over the last 9 months, which takes place this Friday, basically, at the Fountain in Tottenham.
Amazing.
I think it's 126 West Green Road. Nearest tube, Seven Sisters, plug, or go up to Turnpike Lane, but it's on West Green Road near Lawrence Road, the Fountain Pub, Club and Hotel.
Okay. Amazing. Stacey said, whoop, whoop, whoop. Yep, Stacey's all about it. Amazing. And she is a female DJ. She's one of the baddest female DJs out there right now. I'm just
okay.
She's bad. Love to connect with her as well, for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Last month, what we had a vinyl night last time. So we had lots of women bring in their vinyl records and tell us about the story behind their first purchase of their vinyl records as well. So that was mega like interesting, just seeing all the women just get down. And then we had a couple of DJs on. So it's been really, really good. I'm really looking forward to hearing the two ladies that are going to play on Friday, one being you yourself, Cass, because it's nice to just sit back and kind of guys do your thing. We have our resident DJs, which is Terry G and Mr. C.
Big up Mr. C, big up Terry.
Yeah, from I Love Terry and Terry G from the Crates family. And we've just been cracking on and doing it. And it's been really beautiful and great Friday night for just women to come together, chill out, have a laugh and go home.
Big up yourself. And we also want to big up Lisa, who's also going to be DJing as well alongside me. She's from iLive UK, a radio station that I was on as well. So just want to big up the iLive UK family and iLive Caribbean. And yeah, it's gonna be emotional. I'm really looking forward to this. So with regards to it being ladies first, can any man's then come? Because I'm not gonna lie, you know, I like my women, but me want to see some male energy.
But I tell you what the funny thing is, because it is called ladies first, and we invite the gents all the time. But what we often find is it's like sometimes the gentlemen, because I'm not calling them the man them, I'm not calling them boys, and I'm saying gentlemen. Gentlemen don't come out in their numbers. I've had girlfriends and long-term partners come with their partners. I've had gentlemen. When I say gentlemen come out, the last one we had, there were gentlemen in the place, and literally, I'm not saying they'd take anything from it, but he literally bought bottles for all of the ladies that were in the pub. And gentlemen, you don't want for nothing. Gentlemen, we don't want just the man. We want the gentleman to come out.
Yeah,
everybody gets involved. It is such a really cool. Saying that for the sake, ask any female that you'll be able to come back on and take your highlights and you'll see for yourself.
I'm looking forward to this. So guys, please do come down. I'm going to be DJing as well, alongside Lisa from iLive UK, and obviously the residential DJs, Terry and Mr. C, who's going to be down there. So And we're going to be walking in our heels as well. You're going to be
Yeah,
taking
you gotta bring your heels. Are you coming? Your Miss, I ain't got my good glasses on.
Miss T.
Are you gonna be make it? Can you make that?
Unfortunately, I would love to make it, but I'm taking my children away to Bognor Regis for the weekend.
Oh, nice. Are you driving all the way?
No. We like to catch coach. No,
Love
we're actually catching the train. We're getting
Love
the
it.
train. So yeah,
Great.
we're taking them to a little Butlins thing because we used to do that when they were younger. So
Get
it's kind of like the last Butlins before they're too old.
Bring back a sense of community for women, for the women to take up their right, kind of just pulling everything back together. So in terms of gentlemen, we want gentlemen to come. We don't just want the man them or just a pass through or anything like that. We want gentlemen to come, and it's okay to put on a nice shirt and a pants and come down. If you don't want to get involved, there's a pool table at the back. There's food. We have food brought in from May 10. People eat, they drink, they just have a great time. It's just a real fun.
Oh, that sounds fab. But we also got a big Ultra who's just put a random out there, but her 15-year-old took her couple of GCSEs early and passed them. So she's very chuffed and she would like to tell everyone. So congratulations.
Well done.
Well done. And she's only 15, guys. She's done it way early. So you see it. We have talent in the community. We're well educated and all of that. I'm just saying.
Beautiful.
And it's a testimony to the parent, Ultra.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a good girl, but you modeled that behavior. So well done to you as well, mummy.
Amazing. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to share the information for this coming Friday. I hope you guys can make it because
Ultra is a dad. I apologize.
Ultra is a dad. Sorry,
Ultra.
Oh,
we made an assumption.
Apologies. We just make an assumption just there. Sorry, forgive us. But yeah, guys, make sure you do come. Like Miss MG mentioned as well. Mans, then we need gentlemen at the event. We don't want little boys. We want big somebody. Well, but you know something? I was going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Why is it only over 40s? Because some of our audience is like 30 upwards.
Right. So I can tell you that. Why we said over 40s, because I feel there's enough going on for the under 30s or the under 35s as such. And with our event there, I found there was more women that were coming that were over 40 that may not like the dances and the big crowds, don't want to go to clubs. They just want to go and hang out with their girlfriends, their work buddies, you know what I mean, their aunt, their sisters. So we've had mums and daughters come, we've had mums, daughters and grandmothers come, and all in the same place, partying, raving, enjoying, socializing. So I said, this audience that I want to get to, and I don't just want to do it as a rave. It's not another dance. It's not that type of party. It's the kind of event where any age group can come, and the youngers have been learning from the elders and information that we're sharing in a safe space. We literally take over the whole pub for the time that we're there. And even the gentlemen that have come and the youngers that have come, they've kind of just sat back and kind of just taken it all in and seen it. It's just bringing back that kind of sense of unity between the age groups. Remember, we've got a lot to teach our young ones coming up as well, you know.
Absolutely.
And you said you was at carnival. Sorry to take up your time, but I was at carnival and I found myself, and I'm a carnival baby, and I found myself teaching a lot of the young ones, like, that's not the essence of carnival. The essence of carnival is this, and know how to walk through the crowd and how you should be. Look, I'm tired. I want to sit down on the truck. We'll tell you if you come to carnival and I put on proper shoes. Put on your most beat up shoes. The other side. Right, you know what I mean? All the things.
Yeah. Things were hanging at carnival. I'm not gonna lie.
The lace field is all way back here and all kinds of things. And I said, "Wow, what did we miss? There was a missing link at carnival." But it's down to us as the elders now, really, to start teaching this next generation, especially our young ladies, especially our young come out, on how they should be conducting, carrying themselves. It's not all about social media and live stream and all that. There's some real foundations that we've missed, and we we do need to start installing that back into our young people, especially our young girls.
I agree with you 100%. And also we want to give our condolences to the young man that was killed at the carnival, to his family, because I can't even imagine how they must be feeling right at this present moment, to just think that your child's gone out to enjoy himself and another child has taken another child's life. And it's just really just so sad. It's really, it's so sad. But what I will say before we go into our next guest, I found Carnival was quite hilarious in the sense of there were so many kids and these little boys really felt that they could talk to me. And I was like, my friends has been saying to me, you should find it, like, take it as a compliment. I'm like, but they were old enough to be my children.
Yeah.
One of them said to me, I could make you feel like you're 21 again. I said, I'm good. I've already been 21. I don't need to go there again. Thank you. But
that forward.
A quick question.
Forward.
Because you have got older or they had got younger?
I've gotten older. Well, in my mind, I'm older, but for them, I suppose they're a lot more forward in comparison to like when I was growing up. Even before, I mean, I always get approached, but not on that level. It was different. Like,
but I say this is what we needed to understand. Our young people haven't had much to do for the last a good few years. So
that's the same thing that my friend said.
Somewhere to go. I was there and I hardly saw any trouble on the road, on the route.
Mm.
I just saw a lot of young people having a great time, really enjoying themselves, allowing to mix and move amongst different types of people. If you wanted a certain kind of thing, they knew exactly where they needed to go. But for those that were along the route and trying to play mass and everything, they just wanted to enjoy themselves and feel free for a moment and part of a community, which is like the Caribbean community that wasn't stigmatized. They were actually celebrating their country. I saw flags. Guyanese flags, Trinidadian flags, Dominican flags. We saw the flags, and this is a fair representation of our young people, what they want to attach themselves to, but can't. But I could go into a whole new program. I'd love to come back another time, but we were here to talk about ladies first.
Okay, but one question, Ultra wants to know. I'm 38. Can I go to the over 40s event?
Definitely.
You can reach. You get the pass.
That's a gentleman, right?
Yeah, that's a gentleman.
You can come and meet Cass in person then. That would be absolutely perfect.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us, Miss MG. I look forward to seeing you on Friday. So guys, just in case you've just joined in, I'm going to show you the quick video once again so you know what I'll go on this Friday. Pure niceness. All right.
Thank you. Love. Take it.
If you got tissues in your bag,
amazing. Thank you so much, Miss MG.
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing you, Queen.
Thank you very much. Take care. God bless you.
I will be coming. I will definitely be forwarding because that looks like a whole bag of fun.
It's too much. I look forward to seeing you.
I've already sorted out my outfit in my head.
Hey, listen, done
the little top started, everything started.
Oh, yeah. Dress how you want. There is no dress code. If you want to dress it up or you want to dress it right down, all are welcome. No restriction.
All right. Loving it. All right. Thank you, Queen. See you soon. See you on Friday. Ciao.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to go. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm actually really a bit gassed. Like, seriously gassed. But anyway, let's get into the next stage of our show. Guys, oh my gosh, it is Happiness Month. Believe it or not, I didn't even know such a thing existed until I was doing my research and I was like, oh, what is Happiness Month, the month of August. According to the USA, it's Happiness Month. Back here in the UK, if you are tuning in from the United Kingdom, we have Happiness Awareness Day, which is on the 20th of March. So we're going to have our guest who he's going to tell us a bit about himself. He's called Mr. Happiness and his name is Stephen Surridge. So welcome into the platform.
Hello. Hi there. Thank you so much for having me.
You know what? I'm loving your background. I feel like, you know, when you were a kid again and you've got this whole background going on in the background.
That's me. That's me.
Yeah.
Can't you tell?
Yeah, I can tell.
I am the logo.
Can we see the t-shirt? What's the t-shirt?
Oh no, say? The t-shirt's Jurassic Park.
Oh my gosh, this is
I am absolutely.
But that's how it's supposed to be. We are all supposed to be like children, forever staying young. And when we stay young in age, then I guess we just open up to more opportunities. But we're going to talk about that very, very shortly. But guys, did you know you are the creator of your own happiness, and happiness is a psychology, a state of emotional well-being that a person experiences either in a narrow sense when good things happen in specific moments, more broadly as a positive evaluation of one's life and accomplishments overall. That is subject to well-being. So with that statement, which we got from the Britannia.com, we're going to go over to our guest, who's going to talk about, you know, releasing the joy within yourself. So we're talking about joy and happiness. But before we get started, how are you doing, Stephen?
Yeah, I'm really good. Actually, Kaz, I've got to say, I was expecting a long, deep discussion. But watching the first 20 minutes of your show, you've demonstrated happiness. And I bet everyone watching has experienced a lift in their emotions. And I can tell you what you've done. We live in a very negative world that is constantly telling us what is going wrong, the doom, the gloom, and the despair and the drudgery. For the first 20 minutes, with your chat, with your video, with your last sketch, you were focused for over 20 seconds on the best in life. I love the kind of guidance which we heard from your last guest about what we need to do to guide the young, you know, and that they've not had anything to occupy themselves with the past 2 years, so they're a bit all over the place. So there's that wisdom. But I felt lifted. And then you showed the video of that fashion event. It was people enjoying themselves. It's about appreciation. Instead of looking at life and going, in it crap, this is wrong, that ain't happening, this is rubbish, that's crap. Instead of doing that, which I think we're trained to do, in the first 20 minutes of your show, you've just looked at life and appreciated it. You've talked excitedly about events that are coming up, that are going to be good. You've complimented each other. You've demonstrated the tools that it takes to be happy. And I would say the key to happiness, I try to make this as simple as I can, is conscious thinking. It's being conscious of the thoughts you're thinking, and most importantly, the focus of your thoughts. And there is kind of only two ways you can focus your mind, really, on what's going wrong and the negative, or what's going right or what can be going right. And also it's energy. And where we focus our minds determines our energy level. And like I said, the first 20, you've lifted me. I'm a happiness coach. I've got to be happy, but I'd say my kind of level is quite stable. And you can kind of plateau, and it can kind of, it can become a bit same old. So I appreciate things that lift me. But I suppose being a happiness coach, I'm very aware of stuff that lifts me. And also very aware of stuff that takes me down. So I'm like, no, I'm not having that. I'm going to focus on the good stuff. And the first 20 minutes of your show, you lifted me. I'm feeling buzzy. I'm feeling lighter. I'm feeling energized. And I got in from work tonight and I was a bit knackered. Had to just chilled for an hour. So thank you. You've demonstrated the tools it takes to make yourself happy. Just get conscious of that. We are all creators of our own lives, which we can go on to. But we are the creators of our own happiness. But by consciously creating our energy level and our level of happiness, we create a better life for ourselves.
Yeah, I love that. Gosh, I didn't even think of it before. I mean, thank you so much for saying those for, sharing those kind words in regards to me, like lifting
How does it
people.
make you feel? How does it make you? Because this is a test.
It
This is
it
the.
just makes me feel like, really, is he talking about me? I've been getting a lot of that, to
Yeah.
be quite honest, of recent, and I'm just like, they're really talking about me. Okay, this is a real thing. But I think sometimes we don't even realize that, like, before I came on the show, I was having a conversation with an old time friend. So we was talking about someone who passed away, a friend of ours, and we're going to her funeral on Friday. And so I was feeling a bit like going down, but then the conversation went up and it went down and it went up
Yeah.
in like these emotions of waves and everything. And then I remembered, oh gosh, I've got to come and do the show now. I'm not going to stay in that vibration,
Yeah.
but it's just like you have to. I guess I don't know if you find this, Miss T. Sometimes when you've got to come and like present or give of yourself, you've got to just let go of whatever just happened in the background. You just got to just turn up and you've just got to put your best foot
You know
forward.
what that is? That's focus. You're just focusing your mind, and you could go back to the gloomy stuff, but you're presenting. You want to lift your audience. You want to be a leader. So it is that it's being conscious of, okay, I've got to do this. I've got to take my mind off that, and I've got to put my mind over here. And most people don't do this. That they just react to the world. That they see something, oh, I don't like that. They react. They feel rubbish. They don't know why. Then they see something that's good, whether it's a material object like a latest handbag or fast car, and they feel lifted, like wow. But they're unconscious of the fact it is. When you focus the mind in appreciation and love and all the good stuff, you lift yourself. When you focus your mind in the not so good stuff, let's call it that, and where people, it's almost like, if you run a boiling hot tap in the bar, it's going to be boiling. It's going to the warm water is going to build a momentum. It's going to get boiling, boiling, boiling. If you run a freezing cold tap in a bath, it's going to, what starts off quite cold, if you leave it, the cold water builds a momentum, and you put your arm in the bath and it's arctic cold. That's what depression is. When people are depressed, they're unconsciously, because I had 15 years of chronic fatigue. That's how I'd say I'm a happiness coach. I called myself a professional happiness coach. There wasn't a label out there anywhere. But I would say I'm a master at happiness because I've experienced the reverse. And I got myself out of it, and it is just managing your mind, becoming very conscious of your thinking, becoming aware of how it affects your energy. You have to become very aware of your relationship with the past, which ultimately is just memory. And memory is not necessarily the truth, it's just the narrative we constructed. And if that narrative is painful, without being conscious of our thinking, we can change, we can reinterpret and find a less painful version, a less painful narrative of our past until we feel better about it and we're able to live with it and let it go. And that's what most therapists do. And to really get your energy going, be forever optimistic about your future. And that's, this happiness stuff, and what I teach at a deeper level, and we can talk about this tonight, is law of attraction. And which is the kind of spiritual stuff. I'd say the spiritual stuff is the invisible stuff. It's talking about not necessarily God or the angels and all that. I'd say it's the invisible. It's like thoughts and feelings. Science has been unable to quantify what those things are, but we all know they're a massive part of our being, our experience. I would say the quality of our life is defined on a moment by moment basis in relation to how we're feeling. Isn't it? You can be in a rainstorm, it can be thundering, you can be drenched and feel joyous. Yes. Or you can be like recently, you can be in the blazing hot sun, sun that we've waited months for, and then you can be moaning and saying it's too hot, it's rubbish.
Yes.
And, yeah.
Annoying statement that we've been hearing a lot from.
But I think it's people are unconscious. I think that's what it is. I think, but there is a spiritual element to this, and we could definitely talk about that because quantum physics is endorsing everything that the spiritual text and what the kind of spiritual world has been saying in the way we create our reality, and that we, through our mental focus and our expectation of our future, we're actually causing the atoms that are forming around us to what's the word, move together and join together in a specific way. It is
Mm.
being aware of this, because if someone told me when I was a kid that Steve, you'll be a happiness coach, you'll be talking all of this, I'd be saying, no, who the hell are you on about? But
Yeah.
I think we are at just a time now in our, our growth as humans on this planet. I think we need to realize who we are, and all the spirit. Again, I can't believe I'm saying this, but all this kind of spiritual stuff. It says God is love. I'm not religious whatsoever. I'd say probably the closest religion I identify with is being a Jedi Knight. So
Why not?
oh,
Another
Yoda.
Jedi
Star Wars, yeah.
It is,
way
but
up in my estimation for more. Like, wow, you was already up there, but now you said that. We love
it is,
it.
but it is. But then again, if you think it's just about the dark side, the good side, the yin and the yang of the energy, and do you give in to the dark emotions, the anger, the fear, the resentment, which in the Star Wars movies give the characters power, but in real life we know they destroy us. If you focus, on negativity too long, our energy zapped. That's the first indicator. We can't get out of bed. Life turns grey. So when I had chronic fatigue, I remember it went on quite a while, 15 years, but I actually think it's almost like I had my misery in a massive block. It's like the universe said, right, you're going to be miserable for this long, intense period of time, and then when you come out of that, you're never going to go back there again. And I think that's, although those 15 years were painful, I don't think I'd change anything now. I think it has really given me a springboard to propel me forward. Yeah, so going back to the Star Wars thing, there's the good side, which is love, which is appreciation, which is a sense, appreciating the people around you, fighting, not giving it. It's being emotionally intelligent, not giving into anger. Just because you feel it, it doesn't mean you should just go there. Kind of thing, and when you talk about carnival and what's happened there, that's what is creating those knee-jerk violent reactions. That there's a narrative that's been going on in someone's head, and then they feel the anger, and they feel they have to retaliate, and before you know it, your life is destroyed. And so it's really,
Yeah, go on, Miss T.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'll shut up.
No, don't shut up. No. So I'm absolutely aligned with what you're saying, because I'm a very happy person, but it takes practice. So
absolutely,
yeah. So it's like knowing that, being conscious and putting it into practice until it becomes a kind of until it becomes an unconscious competence. So you make it into a habit.
Everything we are habitual creatures, and some people are made moaning habitual, and it's just being conscious, looking at how that shapes your life, deciding, do I really want this? And I think that's the key. I think we've been taught in modern society to be people pleasers, to look outside of ourselves, look for positive endorsement from teachers, parents, friends, and we've ignored ourselves. And I'd say that was the big shift for me. I think it was my mid-30s that I kind of woke up. I had chronic fatigue from the age of 21 to 35. And then it was the shift that happened in me was that instead of looking and prioritizing the world outside of me, I went within. And the kingdom of heaven is within. Isn't that what the Bible says? I think it says something. And I went within, and I was become very aware of my relationship with myself, and by that I just mean the conversation I had going on, the narrative that was going on in my head about me, with me, about me, and about my view of the world, and about my perspective of the past. And what really, the big change which really got my energy going, and this is what I teach when I teach this stuff, is that you got to get positively expectant about the future. It's like the future is coming. Why be afraid of it? Why, with just a shift of a thought, but again, it's practice thought makes it chronic. You can get afraid of the future, or you can get positively excited about the future. And when you're excited about the future, wow, do you get a buzz? Do you start to enjoy life? It's like you replace your feet with rollerblades or casters or something. You start to skate through life, and you get energy momentum going as well. So stuff starts to happen, all this manifestation stuff that those of you that know the secret law of attraction, you start to bring that in quick, and you realize actually I am I asked for that. And it might be something like this year, the start of this year, I had 2 weeks in Dubai, and I got a really cheap deal, and I went out there, and everyone was saying Dubai's really expensive, you'll never get out, it's going to cost you a fortune. I went out. I think I went out. My total holiday budget for 2 weeks in Dubai was about 800 quid, and that's my flights, my accommodation, and it's just when you, and the food and everything. And I think just when you just expect life to work for you.
Yeah.
If you've got that choice, it's a 50-50. Life is crap and it's going to beat me up all the time, which is just a practice thought, which is, if you go back to the root of it, someone else has probably given you that thought. It's not even your own original thought.
Yeah.
You've been told it by television, EastEnders probably, those shows that whenever they're about to get married.
Probably, or Brookside probably.
Brookside, I worked on Brookside.
Who was working on Brookside many, many moons ago?
I know. I worked on it when it was at its peak. When I would say actually it was at its most optimistic. They put the characters in the worst scenario, but there was an optimism to that character. It's like we're going to get through this. We're going to get through this. And I think, the audience engaged with that. And that's I worked on Brookside just to put this in context, when it was the body under the patio storyline, if you remember that. In the early 90s, it was a horrendous. It was the first time television had ever shown domestic violence as truthfully, and it was so raw. And they showed the mum who was, she'd been attacked to near death. She had PTSD, and I think they dramatized PTSD before society was even aware what PTSD was. I think it was that the research was so detailed. And they showed the mum this dithering, what am I doing? She just couldn't get a grip on life. And it was the Anna Friel character. And again, everyone remembers Anna Friel. She became a mega star overnight. Yeah. And it's that.
It was
the audience tap into the positivity within the darkest moments of this drama. And I think they realise I need to be that. I think that's how drama works, that we're watching characters, and when we really connect with it, we're thinking there's a bit of me in this, or these are giving me guidance. Like Star Wars is a myth, isn't it? And it's teaching us emotional intelligence in a fantastically packaged universe. And and again, story is narrative, isn't it? All our lives are narrative. If you go to a court of law, it's nothing to do with the truth. It's about two narratives that are presented and who the jury defends. So it's about taking control of your own narrative. Do you talk about your life's crap and everything's going wrong, or do you take a check and say, no, I'm all right, I'm doing all right? But I would say the core of it, being chronically happy, is having a really positive relationship with yourself. And again, that takes practice, and it takes conscious awareness of that you need to do it. You need, for it to become habitual, you need to get going and keep it going, even when you may feel it's a lie, or that today's a bit crap and here I am telling myself how great everything is. But you just got to practice those, because they say thought patterns are electromagnetic, so whatever you're thinking you're going to get more of. And this is when people get depressed and they're in the darkest depths of depression, which I've been in, you don't know where it starts, but when you think it's just one small thought after another. And so a lot of people don't know. They're very aware. And how are they aware they're depressed? Their feeling state. Yeah. But they've switched off their energy. And you get your energy through your positive focus, your conscious focus on stuff that, music can do that. A good TV show or a good movie can do that. A good book. Just focus on. And everyone's got their own answer to what they think is a good book, haven't they? But that's fine. Just become very aware of what gets you going and what you appreciate, and be selfish about that. If someone told, no, that film's rubbish, okay, we're gonna have to have a difference of opinion. I really like that, and I'm holding that. I'm taking ownership of my appreciation.
But before we continue, because there were certain things that you mentioned that you have spoke about, and I do want to talk about your background as well, so those can understand more in terms of what you do as well with the drama and everything else. But Tremaine, the life guide, asks the question, what is chronic fatigue? Can you explain exactly what that is?
Yeah,
or
I
just
would say you're just feeling knackered all the time. The best analogy I'd say, imagine you're a Ferrari and you're stuck in reverse gear with the handbrake on and flat tires. You know you've got the potential to be much more, to be more. And I would say actually half the world, I think, has got some degree of chronic fatigue. You know, our reliance on coffee, energy drinks, and they don't do us that much if you can just focus better. You'll get much more energy naturally through just your own focus. But it's being exhausted. It's well, I remember my life went very grey. I'd describe it as almost like a paint by numbers painting that hadn't been filled in, and it was just like 50 shades of grey. Nothing excited me. I moaned a lot. I was told I was very like miserable. Everything. Excuse my language. Everything was shit. Everything that's crap. That's shit. That's crap. And yeah, and I know, and actually before my chronic fatigue started, I'd had 18 months. I'd moved to London. I'd started uni, and I had the biggest high ever. And this is where I was taught I experienced the law of attraction before finding out about it, becoming conscious of it years later in my mid 30s. Everything I wanted, and this actually is quite fun. We mentioned Brookside. I was a student studying drama, but I loved television. Brookside was my favourite show. I loved the intelligence of it. I loved the fact but it went rubbish in the end, didn't it? But we won't talk about that. But when it was at its peak, it was amazing. And I kept writing to them and saying, can I do a work experience or work on this show? I want to do. And they kept saying, no, no, no. You're based in London. We only work with Liverpool kids. We're not. Basically, no. The doors were shut. And I just let it go. I was having too much fun at uni anyway. And then I'll say about a year later, I come across an advert in the Stage magazine, and they were saying there's a acting for TV course on the set of Brookside, and I could afford it. One of my friends at uni lived just around the corner from the set where it was, so I arranged. The three of us went up there, and we spent a weekend. And I didn't want to be an actor. I've never wanted to be an actor. I've always wanted to be a producer, writer, create soap opera. The 21st century of Brookside. That's what I'm going to manifest next. So you heard that here. But I just wanted to absorb and see how telly was made. And the guy running the course was one of the show directors. And in the lunch hour, I just nabbed him and said, look, I don't want to be an actor, but I love this show. Again, love, that word opens doors, clearly, that energy. I said, I love this show. I'm here just to see the set. I love it so much. I just had to come here. Can I do a work placement or something here? And he went, yeah, go talk to that woman over there, say that I sent you. And I ended up doing on and off in my final year at uni a 7-month internship on the set of Brookside, where I'd go up to Liverpool, and it taught me everything about how to make TV. And it was when the body under the patio got dug up. It was a religious cult storyline, and that was coming to. Do you remember Spooky Simon? All the Brookside fans out there, yeah, it was. And it was when the Jordache patio got dug up. I was there. I remember the first day I was there was all glass on the close. And I went, what's happened here? And he said, oh, they blew up number 5 Brookside Close last week.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. It really was like being in Disneyland.
Yeah, I can imagine. I love Brookside.
I did.
Was my favourite, like every Saturday. I don't know how, because I used to have a little Saturday job. I was hustling from when I was like 13, guys. Somehow I managed to get in time to be able to watch Brookside. I just absolutely loved it. I think the storylines was very compelling.
They were intelligent, weren't they? It was respectful. They were the first. They did like Downs. Again, it was like an appreciation, although everyone saw it as this hard-hitting, gritty soap. And I think it did become that, and that's where people switched off, because it became soulless. But when it was at its peak, it was doing these massive storylines that were like a first, like domestic violence, Down syndrome. They showed a yuppie couple with a Down syndrome baby, but they tapped into the sensitivity. And I think there was a positivity that was driving it. They didn't give up. They didn't say, oh, our lives are over. And I don't think we do that. I don't think, you can have fleeting thought that, oh, I can't handle this any longer. I know I did but I think there is this underlying positivity that drives us ultimately, and that's where we keep getting up every day. And I think we are, they say the spiritual stuff says that we are love. We are here to love life. We are here to experience love. and the love we are this is what the logo's about actually. You know, when you're, especially in Britain, you know, when you go on a holiday, and normally in Britain it's cloudy, it's rainy, and
Yeah.
then when you get on the plane and you fly through the clouds, and then above the clouds it's permanently sunny, and it's you realize it's been sunny all the time there. That's who
Mm.
they say we are. That is who we humans are. That our natural state is sunshine. We are meant to be positive, and it's all on a mental level. But our behaviour follows. But yeah, we are when we love. You know, we're all seeking love because that's who we are. But we don't find it outside of us. We attract it. That's what law of attraction is, and we
Mm-hmm.
have to activate it within ourselves first, and then we will build a momentum, and then we will attract.
So why do you
Yeah.
think that society is kind of like programmed us in a way that we are not operating that vibration?
I think it's control. I think the
Mm.
ideal word is programming, and I think what we're going through at the moment, you know, the last 2 years have been really turbulent. I think we're coming out of it. I think there's a mass spiritual awakening. I never would have thought I'd be talking about this stuff if someone said years ago. There's things like The Secret, which cured me of my chronic fatigue the first 20
Mm-hmm.
minutes, and yet I'd spent in the mid 90s. I spent 3 years going to the NHS having 25 blood tests because they were convinced my fatigue was viral, and they could never find anything wrong with me, and so they just left me. And I remember no one asked me what I was thinking. And then the first 20, so it was like 15 years later, when I was teaching drama, I was teaching the Hollywood standard acting techniques, which are all about mental focus, and that you activate emotion that's needed for the scene for your mental focus,
Mm-hmm.
and that creates behavior, the build up of emotion, and that becomes your performance. So I was teaching that, and then this one of my students said, Steve, you need to watch this. This is saying exactly the same, and it was The Secret. And I watched it, and the first 20 minutes cured me of my chronic fatigue. I realised I'd been thinking junk thoughts. I'd say I was regretful of the past, bored with the present, and fearful or negative, or negative and pessimistic about my future. And there's a complete energy imbalance in that.
Mm.
So I had to do a lot of internal work. Louise Hay, who I know we've spoken
Yeah.
about, her stuff. I literally, the self-help section in bookshops. I literally must have spent about 10 years reading everything there. I just,
Wow.
yeah, I just books. It was when Amazon started coming out, and so you could easily order books online and that. So every week I'd order another book and just read it, and I'd become a master of everything I'm interested in. Like Star Wars, I was not just a Star Wars fan. I was a kid with every action figure, posters on the wall. I knew all the cast and crew names. I become a complete absorber. I have to become a master of whatever I'm interested in, and I think I did the same with happiness. I was like, wow, I've really experienced a massive shift here. This has changed my life. I want to know as much about this as I can. And The Secret, actually, there's a secret behind The Secret. It's Abraham Hicks.
Mm.
Those of you that know that,
Just
and
about to ask you about
Yeah.
Abraham.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
her philosophy I teach. It's her and that, and I. There's millions of videos on YouTube, and you just have to type in Abraham Hicks and whatever your issue is, and you'll find about 5 videos. And they
Yeah.
all say the same thing: find thoughts that feel better on that subject. That's your work. Don't try and take action. Don't try and change the world. None of us can change the world. Change you. Find a better feeling thought, and you bring yourself into energy alignment. And then once that's chronic, so say you've got financial issues or something, you're stressed out about that. So you could just talk. It's all about talking ourselves into what we want. So you could be in a place where, oh my God, I've got this bill, I can't pay it. What am I going to do? They're going to cut me off. I'm going to be homeless. Blah blah blah. Which is going to make you feel. Or start talking to yourself. There's an emotional scale, and the top is love. And you start talking yourself up there. So the bottom is depression, fear, powerlessness, and then
Mm.
just above that is anger, frustration. Then it
Mm.
kind of dilutes and becomes pessimism, annoyance, boredom, and then it starts moving into. So it's almost like a temperature. This is the Abraham Hicks stuff here I'm talking about here. There's a 22 emotional step scale, and it's almost like a temperature. So it's like cold, empty, lifeless, flat emotions, and then it's as you climb up, you get more fizz, you get more energy, more spark, until you get into love. Yeah, and you just do that. So you talk. You know, other people have been in this situation and they've survived. You know, I've been in this situation before and I've not died. So you know, if I'm sure if I talk, if I just start talking to the people at the gas board or whatever, they'll understand. Actually, it's not even a person that's generated this bill; it's a computer. Computers don't even know who I am. Well, there's millions of other people, especially this current situation. This is quite apt, isn't it? There's millions of other people in this situation. I'm not the only one. There's going to be loads of support online. But you don't take action. You just talk yourself into until you feel relief, until you feel a bit better. That's the word. And then
so you're literally just talking yourself. You're talking to yourself.
yeah, you don't need to tell anyone it. It's good. It does kind of endorse it if you do start. You know, if someone else comes to you and say, "Oh, I'm so stressed about my bill." Yeah, I was, and then I realised, and you repeat, and then it becomes habitual. The more you say what. The more you practice talking yourself, whether just thinking it or saying it, you practice it and it becomes a habit. It becomes your default. And science now says that neuron pathways, you know, we learn to drive through repetition. We learn everything through repetition.
Repetition, true.
The brain creates neuron pathways. And so why not become a master of your life? And just talk everything, every aspect of your life. And our lives, we've got complicated lives, haven't we? So it's almost like we've got 20 different TV channels that we could be focusing on, you know, like relationship status, career status, finances, and we could be jumping. And that what Abraham Hicks says, she says that you can have 19 parts of your life going horrendously wrong, and yet you might have you might enjoy country dancing or something like that, something absurd. She says if you just focus on what lifts you up and just make that your mission, just focus on what is working, the other 19 will move into alignment. But if you're dipping into that, this is where I think most people have got chronic fatigue. I think we split our energy. We're like, oh, I really love that, but that's crap. You know, or we're unconscious. We turn on the telly and watch that for 20 minutes, which is doom and gloom and gloom and gloom. You're better off watching your favorite. You're better off watching your favorite sitcom. What's that? Sorry.
I actually stopped watching soaps for that reason.
Because I love soap opera, but they're rubbish now. They're not worth my attention. They're not worth my attention now.
Very negative. Very negative. And I just found myself like speaking to people and they wanted to keep talking to me about, say, for example, EastEnders. And I was just like, this is not real life. Like, I want to talk about...
But you know what? EastEnders used to be good, didn't it? Do you remember Arthur Fowler? It used to be sensitive. I remember, you know, myself
I don't
and
think
millions...
it was good. I think it's just that it was what was on at the time. It came across as being good. But I think as you got, like for myself, as an adult, I'm looking back and I'm like, kind of craziness was I watching as a child? Do you know what I'm saying? Because it's a level of a programming.
Yeah.
It's
Unconscious programming.
It's not encouraging you. It's not empowering you. It's keeping you at a certain kind of level. Do you know what I mean? Kind of thing. You know, you're not seeing, like, say, for example, when I was watching EastEnders, there wasn't people that looked like me that was doing great. It was always something quite negative. Do you get what I'm saying? So it always kind of conditioned us to think and to be at a certain kind of level.
That's where I think, if you look at the programs that go seismic, the Australian soaps, they were cheap bargain basement, almost stocking Philateli. We bought them in just to fill out the daytime schedule because they were positive. They showed, for the first time ever in my experience, working class people that were very identifiable, enjoying life. But do you remember Kylie Minogue had aspirations to become a car mechanic? She become a car mechanic, didn't she? It's Jason Donovan. I remember his character would be doing his homework. I'd be doing my homework. And it was very identifiable. But I remember they showed, it was very tender if the little Lucy was like getting bullied by friends. The Granny Helen would give her a cuddle and say, you'll be all right. You'll be all right. And I'd never seen that tenderness. And that's the kind of telly I want to make. I just think we denied it in our culture. We just, you know, another show, Friends, look how seismic that was. These shows that lift us up go through the stratosphere. Star Wars is Harry Potter, all these shows, they've all got the same kind of hero's journey underpinning them, which is a psychological narrative of from powerless to powerful, and a hero fulfilling their full potential, which is what I think we all want to do, don't we, during our lives. And they all go through the roof because they're programming us in a positive way, that are saying you can do this.
But I think it depends though, because Stephen, for example, like for myself, being a woman of color, Miss T, and some of those that is watching, we didn't really see, I didn't really see that much television that looked like me.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot.
Positive
Yeah,
image.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because even you describing, say, Neighbours.
It was very
Did you
white,
see
wasn't it?
exactly?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you can relate to that and you can identify to that. But for us as people of color, we weren't seeing that. So
Do you know
even
what? I think that's a conscious thing by the powers that be.
yeah,
Absolutely.
but then
Yeah.
this is the programming, though, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I've worked
And
in
it's done
television.
deliberately.
Yeah, it was very
And-
white, very middle class, very male, and
Yeah.
it's still a closed industry. And it's John Boyega of Star Wars in the
Yes.
most recent. He said this. He said he was growing up. Luke Skywalker was white. There was no black role model that he could aspire to, and he wants to become that as an actor. So I think times are changing, definitely. But I totally understand.
There's a question from Miss B. Miss B said, "What triggered this fatigue, depression? If you started uni on a high, so then what then led for you to be triggered into having the fatigue?"
Yeah. Well, this is where you have to face your demons. You have to confront the darkness within you, and you have to like yourself. So I was when I was 9. I was like I remember as a kid I had very low self-esteem, and again I can see how this manifested and what I'm going to tell you, because I always thought I didn't think much of myself, and when I was 9 I was assaulted by a friend, and I never told anyone. I never told anyone for years, and so I buried it. So I think I had PTSD as a teenager. I was very numb. Just felt flat all the time. And when I went to uni, I was able to move away from home and almost reboot my life, start again, new location. No one knew me. I consciously decided then I was going to be more happy. I was going to be more, even before I started uni. And I absolutely loved the first year of my life. It just gave me so much energy. I was very aware now when I look back. Why did I have so much energy? I was just appreciating everything. And I think I grew up on the Isle of Wight, the south coast. Very boring. I was bored. Again, I don't think I went back there a few weeks ago. I think that was my mental state. I don't think it's the narrative we tell ourselves either cripples us or benefits us. And I was constantly rubbishing that environment, saying it's boring, it's rubbish, the people are nasty. So you just build a momentum, and then you experience that, and then so you've kind of got yourself in this hole. But I was able to go to uni, and everyone said, "Steve, what drugs are you on? You're like bouncing off the ceiling." And I said, "I'm just and so many people were like, yeah, but the course is rubbish and it's not very good." And I was like, I don't see that. I'm loving it. I was just appreciating everything. I remember even, and this sounds weird, even the bustling traffic in London, the bright red buses. On the Isle of Wight, it's so sleepy and slow and dull. I was just magnet. And I remember I felt like I was a movie camera. I was like, I want to capture that. I want to capture that on film. I want to capture. And because I was appreciating life more, I think you do train your brain into, you just see more appreciation. But again, thoughts are magnetic. So whatever you're focused on, you get more of. So I found the people a lot more interesting. I loved the people. I really, really, I just loved having what could seem a trivial little conversation. I was buzzing. I was electric almost. And then this is where it takes a dark turn. The assault I had sort of left me sort of ambiguous about my sexuality, but I'd repressed that. And then I met a guy when I was 21, just before I turned 21, that I fell in love with. And I was it's almost everything I'd buried and was like unconsciously in denial of hit me in the face, and I had to process it, and I wasn't ready. And I just remember I panicked. I was like, oh my God, am I gay? I don't know if I'm gay. I don't want to be gay. In the early 90s where AIDS was still, being gay in the early 90s was not a good thing. And yeah, and I just remember I was terrified. I was absolutely, and this guy very quickly manifested out of my life because my frequency dropped. And yet just before I met him, everywhere I went, he was there. And this is where I experienced law of attraction before I was conscious of it. And so they do say, be careful what you ask for. You have to be ready. And I wasn't ready. But now I'm so grateful because I'd say my 15 years of chronic fatigue was me slowly processing and confronting my inner darkness. And then reading the Louise Hay stuff and the spiritual stuff helped me do that. I never went and saw many therapists. I didn't find them very helpful, but I was just doing a lot of mind work on myself and thinking, I can think that, but is it beneficial to me? And I think I had to embrace my shadow, the dark stuff within me, the elements of me I didn't like. And I'd say core central to being happy is you have to have a really positive relationship with yourself. And one of the things, Louise Hay stuff, and this is what's an exercise that I teach when I do these workshops. Every time you see your reflection in the mirror, whether it's first thing in the morning or in a shop window, tell yourself how beautiful you are. Tell yourself how great you're doing. Become your number one fan.
And
Because the one person you're going through life with is you.
It's yourself, yeah.
And I've become that in a really healthy way. And it's not arrogance. It's just this. And it's funny. As a kid, I was never confident. And I can see why. It's because I had no relationship with myself. I think I'm a bit rubbish, And I remember, again, we do need, when we're on the journey towards like finding yourself, you do need external validation, and that can be so important. I remember it was uni that changed my life, and I remember I never ever considered going to uni. I just never thought it was within my reach. And then one teacher said, Stephen has the ability to go to uni. And just that one praiseworthy comment changed my life.
But then it goes to show it's the importance of having that positive like accolade, or not accolade, but evaluation from somebody else.
Someone made me aware of my worth, my ability that I hadn't had before. And I was, again, we can say, I was in a very negative environment now. I think if we're energies at different frequencies and we're attracting the same frequency as us, we're responsible for our environment. And so I was attracting a very, not hostile, but it just wasn't very pleasant. It was negative and pessimistic. It was never celebratory or congratulatory. And it's funny, talking with my sister, who's now got 2 amazing daughters, we've had that conversation where she's a parent. She said, no, we didn't have any positive endorsement when we were growing up. I don't think it was my parents' fault. I think it was the children that were born post-war. I think the frequency of their parents, they'd lived through fear, and that was within those children. And so I think our parents have become, they weren't introduced to The Secret. They weren't having conversation about all this positivity. I remember you talk about like representation. Oprah Winfrey in the 80s was about the only black woman on telly and the only person talking positivity and empowerment.
But I didn't see Oprah Winfrey in my household.
Okay. It wasn't broadcast much. It was like some weird, and it was all weird, wacky American stuff anyway. The British sneered at it. We sneered, very cynical at it. So but
so in regards to like you're talking a lot about like say Abraham Hicks and Louise Hayes, their teaching and everything else, and I know you had the pleasure of meeting Louise Hay, and Louise Hay was a part of your was it the drama school that you had?
Charity. When I first got into this, I was like, wow, I need this. Fixed me. The Secret fixed me. And researching The Secret in more detail, I found the secret behind The Secret, which is the Abraham Hicks philosophy. And then I become a master of that, and I was like, right, I need to get this out. So I established a charity, and I ran that from 2009 to 2012, and getting government funding. And then there was a Hay House event in London, and I was doing this in Portsmouth, so I had to travel up to London for the weekend. And Louise Hay was there. She was a surprise guest, and she come out, and everyone's like, woo! And then she said, any questions? And I stood up and asked a question. And she said, what do you do? And I said, I teach long-term unemployed young people emotional intelligence and mind management, making them aware of their power, their internal. And she said, my God, this is the best workshop for young people I've ever heard. I fully endorse you. Contact my PA afterward, and the whole room went, wow. And that's where you kind of think, okay, I think I'm on the right track here. The universe is saying I'm on the right track. So yeah, that's where you. I called Louise when I met Louise Hay. I had a photo with her, and I said, Louise Hay, you're my Yoda. She was like,
and the
so
thing
Star
is,
Wars came in then.
just in case anybody wants to know about who Louise A is, you can just Google her, go on YouTube. So much of her materials on there. Iola, who's listening, I'm sure that's Iola's fairy godmother.
Wow.
She's my spiritual godmother as well. Like, I listen to Louise Hay every single morning.
If you go to the self-help section of any bookshop anywhere on the planet, most of the books are published by Hay House, and that was her publishing. And she was working in a church apparently, and she kind of downloaded the philosophy that your thoughts create your reality and that, and she wrote a little book and sold it. And then I think she sold some more, and people started saying, I want your book, so it started selling automatically. And then I think it was the chaplain or someone said, you need to publish this. Her empire grew without her ambition behind her, saying, I want this, I want to be a publishing guru. It just happened as a result of her energy and its momentum as it built, and the fact the world needed it. So
especially, I mean, as we're talking about Louise Hay, because I didn't really know much about her story in terms of her past, etc. And when I listened to an interview, I can't remember who was interviewing her at the time, and I'm listening to this woman, I'm thinking to myself, how could she have gone through all of that pain, all of that trauma, and then, we're still talking about her how many years after her passing, and she just has such a positive impact.
That's legacy, isn't it? Real legacy. Positive legacy. You want a positive legacy, don't you? The world needs more positive legacy. It's not,
But it just goes to show it is about our thoughts. And I'm even understanding that more myself, because, I mean, I was brought up as a Christian in a Christian home, as most of us, we didn't choose the religion or our morals and values. It's more our parents and our parents' parents. And I was brought up in church, and I do remember a scripture, not when I was young, but as I got older, when I continued to practice being a Christian. And it talks about, so if a man thinketh, so is he. I think that's scripture.
Yeah.
And later on, I never really quite understood it.
It's gobbledygook, isn't it?
Yeah,
so much of the scriptures are gobbledygook.
I think it was Bob Proctor, and he was talking about it when he was talking about Napoleon Hill, who done a book called So Man Thinketh, So Is He, and that just transformed his life. So why do you think, in terms of, like, I know this, you may not necessarily have the answer or so, but why do you think, like, even though, say, like, that's scripture, that's biblical, but yet we don't really interpretate that for ourselves, even though we've got that information there? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, really good question. I think it's about focus. When you're really, Abraham Hicks says that genius is just intense focus, chronic sustained focus on any subject. So we can all be geniuses. And I think, we've got, it's almost like the TV analogy. We've got so much stuff coming at us. I remember for years, everyone saying it's about mindset. No one clarified what mindset meant until Abraham Hicks, I'd say, for me. And I think it's the same. I think all this stuff has been out there, you go in corporate companies and they've got the motivational images on the wall, haven't they, with like a drip or something, a ripple on a pond or something like that. And it says, so this stuff's staring at us, in fact, but it's in code. And I think a lot of scripture's in code. It's gobbledygook. It's like Shakespeare. Does anyone really understand Shakespeare unless you sit down and really arduously break it down? And I think that's what it is. And I think something like The Secret has come along. It's packaged it really well. I think Star Wars packaged emotional intelligence really well. So it's accessible. It's fun. Yeah, I think it's taken years, luckily in our lifetime, for there to be a shift in the understanding of what all this is about. But it has been staring us in the face for, and even if you go on on Google Images and you type in motivational quotes, there's, going back to the Roman times, Marcus Aurelius and all this, and Plato and Aristotle, they're all got these amazing quotes that are kind of telling us what we're learning now. So they've been around hundreds of years that they were this wisdom, but none of us understood it.
Miss T,
Yes.
you got any questions for Stephen?
I actually don't. I suppose I've got more kind of statements of my own in terms of I totally get where Stephen's coming from. And I mean, like in essence, beautiful things happen when you distance yourself from negativity. And I've known that since I was a child because I was always a happy child. We go through our peaks and troughs of life and, things that are thrown at us. But, it comes back to what I said basically before, that we have to practice these things. Once we kind of like get the formula, it's about practicing. Kaz, I'm always saying to you, like, being happy is a choice. Like, I wake up every day and I choose to be happy. I look at my affirmations, I just set the tone, and it's about getting into that motivation of being happy with yourself and what you've got and being grateful and operating through gratitude. And I know for some people it's not as simple as what I'm saying. And that's because it's something that it's a nut that you have to crack sometimes. Some people are just...
you have to experience it yourself, and then you'll get what we're on about. I think the key to having it, there's words like gratitude and appreciation. For some people, they can just be words in the same way that abracadabra and xylophone are words. But when you feel the resonance of the word appreciation, when you feel, and it's the feeling state, it goes back to that. Find thoughts that feel good. If you can stabilize your energy so you're in a really good feeling place, then you're happy. Happiness is not a conversation. A conversation can make you happy if you're feeling the vibe of the conversation, which is what this conversation at the beginning of your show was doing for me. So it's being emotionally intelligent, being attuned to be aware of your feeling state in every moment, because then you can avoid depression. If you feel yourself feeling flat, then you go, okay, what am I doing? Where's my focus? It's that. And I do, some days I can be just, I don't think I've been bored for years. I think when I was so bored as a child, but now since I've been doing this work, I meditate 15 minutes every day. I've been doing that since about 2012. Wow. And that's the best. So as soon as my alarm goes off in the morning, I do 15 minutes of meditation, and all it is breathing. Costs nothing but time. And it's almost, I'd say meditation is the equivalent of, when your mobile phone is low power and you plug it in and you see the energy bar like throbbing. Meditation does that. You can feel your energy coming back just through breathing.
Yeah.
And
it's where your attention goes, your energy flows. So that was a really simple, analogy of what was needed to be done. Like, focus. If you focus on the negative, then you're going to attract the negative. So, and just for kind of like layman's terms, or when I'm teaching my children, to get it across to them, is like, if you want better, then you've got to do better. It's a cycle or a process. So, like the first thing in the morning as a child, and by the way, as coming from a Caribbean home, there's no such word as boring. If you ever said that to your parents, right?
I should have done an exchange. You should have done an exchange.
No, you can't tell your parent you're bored. They'll tell you, go find some, go pick up a book, go do this.
No.
There's things for you to do. That does not exist in a household.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
it's like a curse word when you're bored.
You what? Sorry, say that again.
It's like a curse word.
Simple things like that.
Right. Okay. No, that's good. I think that's good training. I think, because it's your life, isn't it? You're letting your life just flow away. You're doing nothing with it. I think that's what's made me so driven now. I do. Maybe there's a sense of guilt that I wasted early years, but there's nothing wrong with that. That's kind of my narrative on my past, but it's propelling me now. So I'm constant. I'm never bored now. I'm never bored. So it's But it's loving your life, loving you. And I think human psychology is to want more. And I know is it Buddha says that, desire, you need to kill desire. We can't. If you look at Abraham Hicks, the universe is expanding for our own mental desires. So it's a key part of the human psychology, and our part in the universe is to desire, is to want more. But the crux is, which determines your energy flow or not, is whether when you have a desire that you believe you can achieve it, even when there's no evidence of what you want. And I think that's what I've taught myself. Again, talking yourself into it. You feel the buzz, and once you feel the buzz, I see myself directing a Star Wars movie in my lifetime. I'm going to bring soap opera back to its prime. So people go, wow, that guy knew how to, the 21st century Brookside. I want to do that, where it's intelligent, brilliant. Everyone's talking about it. I want to do that. I will do that.
And I'm going to be one of the actresses that's going to be.
Absolutely, yeah. No, honestly. And what you guys, you two guys are doing, I just keep doing it. You must think this must have been a dream at one stage, and you must have looked around and thought, I want to be a presenter. And there's no way forward. How do I do this? And then you've manifested this platform, and just keep milking this, keep doing this. You're going to get spotted. Everything's habitual. The more you practice it, you're going to become a better and better interviewers, better presenters. It is about doing it. So many people think the key to life is winning the lottery. Where's your growth? There's no growth in that. Where's the excitement? There's no journey, isn't it? We all.
Yeah,
just loving life on a moment by moment basis, isn't it? That
a lot of people that actually win the lottery, they actually lose all the money.
Yeah.
To such
because the mindset is not being transformed to be able to handle that type of cash. And there's so much of us, even myself, I've done the lottery, and sometimes I'm like, why are you doing the lottery? Like, this is like a poor man way of trying to make a money. Not saying it's a bad thing, because there is people who have won the lottery and have used the money wisely, but then their mindset is being of a certain kind of caliber to be able to handle that.
They had that mindset before they won the lottery.
Exactly. But then there's people who hasn't got that mindset whatsoever, and then as soon as they get it, then that's it. They've just blown it all together. But going back to what you were saying in regards to us doing like the Now Chat show, and being consistent, and someone will be spotting you, and obviously you keep on doing it, it's practice and practice. But I was listening to a conversation between there's a guy called 19 Keys and Chakabar. And there was something that he said that was so profound. I was like, oh my God, I had to just take it. And he was like, so many people wants to be royalty but not do the work.
Yeah, that's a good way of saying it.
You know what I mean? And that is just what you're seeing in society, is that how, and even myself included, is because when you look and you hear about, say, people blowing up, or got so many followers, etc., you assume that they just walked into it. And I'm not saying that some people hasn't, but the majority of people, they've done the work.
What I want to say on that as well, because obviously that's law of attraction. I'd say that's quite a clunky term. I call it the law of fun. If you're not having fun, it's not going to work for you. So these people that get there, they've obviously loved, and they love again. They built that momentum, that energy momentum. When you realise, I'd say this is a crucial element of being happy, being conscious of your thinking to make you happy. When you realise everything is energy, and it can be changed. So, if you are in if you're in bad, everything is temporary as well, because energy is always changing. So if you're in a dark place, and I've been in a dark place, so I know, but I know I got out of it. So everything changes. Everything's we're going through the world state at the moment, can look horrendously scary to some, but we're going to come out of it, and practicing positive thought, we are going to come out in a much better. There's so much upheaval at the moment, isn't there? But again, you've got an astrologer on next week. Ask them about this, because I know an astrologer guy, and he said It's the same planetary lineup now, and started 2 years ago. So we got another 6 years. It's got an 8-year period, so we got another 6 years. It's the same planetary lineup as in the 1930s when there was the Great Depression, the rise of fascism. But it's a lot is kind of exposed, brought to the surface, almost like a zit. When you get a zit, you feel it under the skin, and the only way to clean it, to move it, is it has to come to the surface and be removed. So much is being questioned, isn't it? Politics, our capitalist society, royal family, everything is being challenged and put under. So we are going to shift to a much more happier, equal, joyous world because of what we're going through. We're almost like caterpillars. We're in that there's a stage, isn't there? What's it called? It starts with a C. In a cocoon or chrysalis. In a chrysalis stage, and we are going to emerge as a butterfly. And history shows us this. At the end of the Second World War, we had to go through 2 world wars, and then the NHS, so many good stuff was developed out of housing, society. We grow. And it's the same way. It's almost everything is life's almost like the universe, almost like the Russian doll, isn't it? And if you think we are the same, for us to achieve our royalty, to take that, guys, we need to be pushed, we need to be challenged, we need to face adversity, but overcome it, and within that journey find our power, so that if we want to be, global influencers, you got to be secure in yourself. You got to have a value system that is integral to you. You can't just be a fly-by-night Mr. Vacuous or Mrs. Vacuous. If you want to be a true leader, make a true have a legacy like Louise Hay, isn't it? So life is, when we're challenged, it's almost like you've asked for this, which is law of attraction. We fire out desire, and it's there waiting for us to catch up with it. So whenever there's adversity, know that it's shaping you to what you've asked for. So nothing ever goes wrong. Nothing ever goes wrong.
And everything that is happening for a reason, to build you to the next level, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because even like when I listen to, say, like Louise Hay, and she talks, and to be quite honest, she's really encouraged me a lot, in a sense of talking about when she changed her handwriting. I think she was like in her late 40s or something like that. She started doing learning how to dance in her 50, and buying her first home in her late 40s or 50s or something like that. And I suppose, because I was having a conversation with my sister today, and she was just like saying to me that, when your life is supposed to start experiencing certain things, it's not necessarily going to be the same time as everybody else. It's when it's supposed to be for you. And I think because of, like, obviously we've got, like, say, social media, the different platforms, Instagram, the Facebook, etc. We're so inundated with information, but we're so inundated about people's lives. Do you know what I mean? Like before, back in the days, we were very private. Everybody's putting everything on show, getting married, having a child, getting a whatever it is, everything is out on display. So, for someone like myself that has dealt with depression, and I've come a long way, I have to say to myself, even if I go on, say, like Facebook, not Facebook, because I don't really go on that platform that much, but on Instagram, because I'm a visual learner, is that just be happy for that person. Do you get what I'm saying? And it's not that I want anything negative for that person, but sometimes you start to reflect and you look at yourself and you're still in the same space that you've been in for, like, say, 20, 30 years or whatever, and you see everybody else and it seems like everybody else is evolving and you're not. I feel like I'm stuck. I'm not gonna lie.
Really felt like that. I remember I saw an astrologer when I was in the midst of my depression. I said, I feel like I'm at a bus stop. Everyone else has got on a bus, and I'm stuck. But you know what? Again, the Abraham Hicks stuff, it says sometimes adversity is there to make you ask big. So you don't. Donald Trump says this. He said, if you're going to think big. So you've created, which he calls it the future version, because everything's frequency, everything's energy. So you projected it into the future, which is the vortex, she calls it. And it's there, your future, and every time you'll be, and she does say there's a brilliant one. I was teaching acting the other week, and I used the Abraham Hicks stuff as the foundation of that class, teaching acting success mindset, because no other drama school does that. And she was saying some of the biggest stars, now we know them as stars, they had failure and rejection after rejection. Dustin Hoffman, actually, I think he didn't make it till his 40s, and he was an actor from his late teens. And there's a film Tootsie, I don't know if you've seen that. He wrote it. So much of it is autobiographical. There's scenes where he's rejected. He's told he's too small, and he's a small guy. He's told he's too small, he's too tall, he's too young. And he said all of that wasn't written for a laugh. That was what he was told. Everything was when you look at Oprah was told, they said that because she did the news, and she was the first female of colour on telly. They said the lighting, we can't adjust the lighting to match your skin colour, and her hair ruined the chroma key. They napalmed her in the early days. They were brutal to her, with no respect, no restraint. And yet she persevered, and she's an icon, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is that. It's almost like it's funny. I used to go to a law of attraction workshop in central London, and I said this aloud. And after I said it, I was like, wow, that's really profound. I didn't even realise. When you're on life support or casualty or whatever, the heart machine goes up, down, up, down, up, and that's when you know you're alive, because there's peaks and there's a drop.
There's lows, yeah.
And when you're dead, flat line, nothing's happening. So our lives are meant to be a bit of up and a bit of down, a bit of up. And Abraham Hicks says, so the up is when we're manifesting and achieving the manifestation. And then, like I've experienced, you can get what you want and you're not ready for it, and then you drop right down. So you have to start the work again, and then you climb, and then the next peak of your life is when you come to the top, and then there's a change. You manifest a new life, and then it drops. So that is the element, the essence of life is the up and down. She does say, if we got everything we wanted and life just gave us what we wanted, we'd be bored rigid. I can't say that word. That was a curse word, wasn't it? But she said it with, so the variety and the challenge of life is the relish is the substance of life, in a sense. We just got to trust ourselves that we can get out of it, that we're powerful individuals. We were never told that, were we, as kids?
No, not at all.
Again, we saw Wizard of Oz and all this stuff, like, the power's within you, Dorothy. We used to watch that every Christmas.
But we never understood it, because
exactly.
that's something, not us. And I think also, going back to say like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, I've just had to remember where she was then. Sorry. Is that we was children when you was watching that, and even as an adult watching it, because we didn't have these type of conversations.
Yeah.
We didn't really understand it. We didn't understand the language to be able to, do you know what I mean, kind of thing. I think that we are in a great time, because we are having these type of conversations, talking about releasing the joy within. Those are things that we don't generally talk about. Tony Robbins.
And it's not televised. It's certainly not televised on British telly, is it?
No, it's definitely. But the thing is, we are starting to see people like Tony Robbins and people like that. People are starting to find out about these amazing individuals who have been doing the work and come from really, traumatic backgrounds that basically say that if that can happen to them, then that definitely can happen for me.
Yeah. Again, that's a positive narrative, isn't it? That is a really positive, and that's going to help talk anyone up. That's what I did. I remember thinking, wow, my role models. A lot of people have, when you hear of Oprah and Madonna was skint when she first come to New York. Yeah, she had and yet somehow, through persistence, the belief, it's all about the belief, she made it. She's a pop icon, isn't it? And everyone said she couldn't sing. She learnt to sing while being a singer. I think she said only when she did Evita, like halfway through the first 10 years of her career, when she did with Lloyd Webber, that she actually learnt to sing proper. She was called the Minnie Mouse of pop at the beginning. She's very squeaky, all her early tunes. But she desired to be a pop star, and she maintained that belief,
Yeah.
that desire. So it's funny. I always, when I do work, I say Posh Spice. Out of all the Spice Girls, who on the surface is the least talented? It's her. Posh Spice is just in the corner looking miserable. And you look at the life she's created for herself. She's like blowing the others out the water.
She's the one out of all of the
She
Spice
was quietly manifesting. I want the husband. I want the home. I want the children. I want the business. She was quietly manifesting.
Yeah,
While the others were like they're doing.
Giving it all large. Yeah, being there. I saw a documentary with her, and she was so humble. She rarely does documentaries, I think. So how I saw this, I don't know. But she said, "I fully admit, there were far more talented people than me in my drama class." But she said, one thing I can say for myself: I was the first there, I was the last to leave, and I was the most prepared. So she attuned herself. It's nothing to do with the talent. It's to do with your tuning, and you're doing that for yourself. So if you invest time like you're doing now, you're repeatedly doing these shows. You're going somewhere. I don't think you'd keep doing this unless you felt at your core that you were on a journey.
But this is the thing. I had this conversation with a friend of mine yesterday, and she asked me, "Where do you see this platform going?" I said, "I really don't know. I'm just."
Isn't that the fun of life?
I'm just leaving this in the Almighty's hands, because at first I thought I had it figured out, but I really don't. So
no, I think that I was telling someone else that this week. I think some dreams are so big you have to trust in a bigger power. That's the only way in our tiny brains that we can possibly work out how they can manifest. And I've had experience when I was at uni. Brookside kept telling me no. I ended up working there. So I know and I just remember being outrageously happy when I was at uni. I loved life. So then when I had my chronic fatigue and then found the secret, I was able to go back to that benchmark period and go, that's why I got everything then, because I was outrageously happy. So I said to myself, right, Steve, you've dreamed big. Part of your chronic fatigue was that you didn't believe in your dreams, you crushed them. And I firmly believe when you crush your dreams, you crush a part of you. So to reactivate your zest for life, reactivate your energy, reactivate those dreams, and start and knowing that there's a power bigger than you that will manifest and bring. Abraham calls it the cooperative components. The universe is doing. So if you've got a business idea, the universe is out there pulling together the finance. We so believe that survival of the fittest. That was a philosophy we were taught, that the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. We were so misprogrammed. We were given no power, I think, when we were young, and now we're having this spiritual awakening where everything's energy. We are all part of the same energy. We're all part of the universe. So why shouldn't? Well, it's our narrative, isn't it, that determines whether the universe serves us or not. We determine that with the frequency we choose through what's going on in our head. And then when you slot into, the universe is fully supportive, I can achieve my dreams, I just have to maintain my energy, my belief, my excitement for what you're moving towards. Then it manifests. And part, maybe the fun, maybe it's the universe having a laugh. We don't know when it's going to manifest. But I know life can change like that.
Yeah.
In 24 hours, you could be spotted. This is on YouTube. This is going out to the world. It could pop up. When a video finishes and then you have all those squares of, you could be one of them in some producer's house in LA or something. And they go, oh, what the hell's this? Right, what's their email address? We've all got that. Life has that
manifest that for now chat show. Yes, much. We received that, and yes, and
absolutely. You're making it happen anyway. You wouldn't be doing this if it didn't bring you joy. If it was arduous, if it was the equivalent of, I don't know, putting up shelving or laying down skirting boards, you would not be doing this so regularly as you are. There's a joy. It must lift you when you're planning the next show.
Not all the time. I feel tired.
What about when you're doing it?
Yeah, when I'm doing it, like I'm in the moment. Like now, I'm in the moment.
You're in alignment. You're in alignment.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. But then sometimes it is. I do, have. And I've even mentioned it to yourself, Miss T, and even to Janelle. Sometimes I'm just like, because I've got so much editing to do to go on to say that social media platform. I'm not the biggest social media platform fan out there. And to do the editing for the videos and everything else, because I don't have no money to pay anybody at the moment, I have to do it myself. But
You
it
know
just
what?
everything piles up. What
You
you gonna
know
say?
what though? This is you're going to be the master of all of this. So when you go to the next level, you are going to know every aspect. And I didn't tell you when after I did Brookside, my big like TV and film achievement, I created the world's first internet soap in Portsmouth, and I ran it for 7 years. And I did a mini Brookside, and I ran it as a film, TV acting stage school. And we'd teach acting and script writing during the week, and then at the weekend I hired a house and did a mini Brookside, and we filmed a soap that went out. It went out on a Freeview channel and become their highest rated show. And I did this for 7 years, and I was running it on a shoestring. But that was my film school. I had to do the costumes, I had to do the scripts. I am a master now of production because having gone through that process, I now know. There's so many cogs in production, but I
Yeah,
now know every cog. So whenever I'm leading someone, I can say, look, dude, this is how you do it, and this is the standard I
yeah,
expect. Because I achieved a standard, me doing it all. You're going through that. You're going through the same process. So when you go to the next level, and you won't take any crap, not in a negative way, but you're like, well, I achieved a certain level on my own, spinning 50 plates. You're being asked to do one plate. I'm expecting amazingness from you being asked to do one job. So it's also everything we're going through is serving us. It's preparing us for the next level.
yeah. Thank you. I didn't even really look at things in that way, but that makes sense. But I do get some help. I do get help from Kwame and Janelle and Miss T, sometimes Andre. I do get help every now and then, and even Iola, she helped me out as well on today's show, just getting the titles, even just little things like that, just of content.
Yeah, yeah.
Writing content is not easy. How do you make it appealing? How do
That
you?
that's finding guests, isn't it? That's a person's job. That's a team's job in television. On shows like Oprah and This Morning, there's a team, an army of people that are out there getting guests, making sure
Do
they're
the
okay.
research,
Exactly.
story, everything.
You've achieved. I think you need to realise, and again, this is part when you look at yourself in the mirror tonight. Both of you need to say, "Whoa, girl, you're pretty powerful." You don't realise just what you've achieved. Have that conversation. You are no one else. Not many people are doing this, are they?
No, but then also to our listeners and those who are catching the replay, also look in the mirror and look at yourself and say,
Absolutely.
you are powerful, you
Yeah.
achieved X, Y, Z. Even if you're feeling that you're, feeling slightly depressed and you managed to get yourself dressed and made yourself a cup of tea, you even have to look at yourself in the mirror and give yourself a pat on the back.
On that note, I want to say I become a happiness coach because I realised I consciously thought myself out of depression. I didn't take any drugs. I was offered drugs, I didn't take any of them. I'm not a pill poppy person. And I didn't, and I was like, no, Steve, I need to do the work. And the secret gave me the tools and the direction, and I did the work. And everyone can do that. I am magnificent, but everyone's magnificent. So everyone has the potential to do this. You don't just take control of your power. Realize how powerful you are.
And I think that's the thing. Once we understand, because I've been obviously, like you said, like listening to like Louise Hay. I've even been listening to who was it I was listening to the other day? Yeah, that's it. I was at the African Spiritual Practices by Akua, and she had a speaker. What's his name? Edison. I can't remember his surname. I can't pronounce his surname. I do know. Yeah. Anyway, but he was just like talking about, like our thoughts and everything else, similar to what you're saying. But I think what it is just that we have been programmed, suppressed so bad
We have.
that, we just cannot see beyond what the oppressor has actually oppressed on us. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, even for myself, and I can only speak for myself, even like this morning, I woke up and I felt really down, and I was like, okay, you need to get up, you need to do this, you need to do your thing to do list, what you got to do. All right, first and foremost, your flat is a mess, right? You need to tidy up, because if your place is a mess, then your head is kind of reflecting.
It's a manifestation. It's a manifestation of your internal. Your externals manifest your indicate your
Yeah.
internal stuff. Yeah.
But then I noticed that I need to move. Like I
Yeah,
need
they say
movement.
they do. Yeah.
So I need to get back into the practicing of like training first thing in the morning again. You know, whether it's just
Dance, even if
office,
it's a rainy day and you can't, just dance. Put on some good music and move. Do
dance. Bruv,
dance.
you
Yeah.
know who I am. I need to train. Like I need to do some skits
She
to
needs
reference
gym.
that.
She needs gym.
I need
I didn't
gym.
realize. I
Gym's
didn't
my
realize
best
you got to
number.
get up early in the morning.
Pardon?
You still go. I mean, you still go to the gym like
Yeah,
pretty
but
much
I'm
daily.
not going in the morning like I used to. Not first thing in the morning. I'm getting up late. I'm going to bed late and I'm getting up late. I need to stop that. You know,
Yeah.
successful people
Sleep.
get up at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
in the morning, you know, they go to bed at
Yeah.
9. So
Yeah.
on that note, I think even with these lives, we're gonna have to start bringing them at an earlier time. I'm just saying because you know, when I even listen to like successful people, what they say that they go to bed early and they wake up early and they do a bag of things before it's even 9 o'clock.
Yeah. But you know, Simon Cowell, I think he does something different. I know he buys about 10 of the same T-shirt. I think he works till like 4 a.m. He
He
works through the
works from
night.
what time?
Yeah, he starts quite late. I think he starts mid-afternoon, like say 4 p.m. and probably works through till 4. So he says, so he does all the stuff. He sends all his emails when he's not distracted, so he can just bang, 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 and then sleeps through the morning.
Yeah,
But it's
but I think it depends. You've got to
yeah,
find
everyone's
what works
different.
for
So yeah,
you. You've got to
yeah,
find that thing that works for you.
yeah,
With Simon Cowell, he looks like he's a night out anyway,
yeah.
based upon the line of work that he does. So I can see that he more than likely will be that kind of person. And I think people who's into the entertainment industry, they will tend to be, you know, sleep more throughout the day and then start again a bit later because obviously they're up to very, you know, late 12 hours or so.
When you're happier, you have more energy. You don't need that much sleep.
Boy.
Yeah, when I was depressed, I needed a lot of sleep. You feel sleepy, don't you? You do
Yeah.
feel constantly half awake. Yeah, that's when you know you've got
But
energy
then
deficiency.
you
Yeah,
also go into a cycle because then the more you sleep, is the more tired you feel also. So it's just
yeah,
a repetitive type of yeah.
yeah. Now, this is a brilliant. I'm having a brilliant conversation. Hopefully you are as well. Just looking at some of the comments
Absolutely.
here. Body under. Let me put. Can I put body under the patio? Anna Friel Brookside days from CC.
Yeah.
It was amazing, wasn't it? I remember Brookside was in the 80s. It was constantly threatened with the axe, and it had like averaging ratings of about 500,000. And with that
Yeah.
storyline, through word of mouth publicity, and this goes to show the appreciation again. The appreciation builds the momentum. Their audience figures went up to 10.5 million
Wow.
because people were telling, and because it was a good story. It
Mm.
had integrity. It was truthful. All those brilliant things, and then they tried to duplicate it. They tried to like, oh, we're almost like where they are now. I do think soap opera now is written by an algorithm. Certainly Emmerdale. Every other week there's a different serial killer. But I just think they tried to, okay, we got this formula now. Let's just clone it, and they just tried to be shock, and they completely missed the fact they did something really sensitive, really intelligent. And I think that's where Brookside just burned out because they were just trying to. They didn't know the magic formula that they captured. And I think that magic formula for everything is integrity, genuine integrity, isn't it? Know what you don't go for shock value or whatever. Genuinely, which Louise hated that. She wasn't looking for stardom or anything. She just. Oprah certainly probably did not see herself becoming
No, she
the
didn't.
icon she has. Yeah, you just thought, okay, I'll just do this, and then you look it's funny, isn't it? When you look over your shoulder, you go, okay, I've actually achieved quite a lot. But sometimes what I was going to say actually, with the whole thing of thoughts and one analogy, if you see your body as a car, and say you want to get the car, you want to drive a car from London to Scotland. You know when you're driving a car, although you've got the vehicle and the vehicle's going to take you there, it's the person driving the car that has the power and decides the direction that you go in. Our thoughts are the driver of our lives. Our body is the car, the body is the vehicle, but it's take control of the driver. Take control of your thoughts. It's that, and this is obvious, isn't it? When you decide to go on holiday, it's always a thought first. And you might think, oh, the early thought might be, can we afford it? Don't really know, blah, blah, blah. It's quite like wishy-washy. And then as you give it momentum and focus more on it, you start to get more specific. Like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, I've got holiday at this time of year. I'd like to go here. I've always said I wanted to go here. And in that process, you're just talking yourself into it, aren't you? And then it ultimately manifests.
Mm.
And that's the process for everything. But so many people face reality, and I know I did, and it cripples you. But when you realise that Abraham Hicks says that the relish of life, the power of our lives is in our future potential. It's all what we're moving towards. So when you're driving a car from London to Scotland, half of the journey is not Scotland. Scotland's the destination. The journey is everywhere else on the way to Scotland. And if we see our life like that, I want to be a presenter, I want to be a singer, and you just hold the faith and know you're on the way. As long as you hold the faith, your energy maintains itself. You feel invigorated, and the universe will start to manifest the steps. It's when you cripple the dream, which leads to chronic fatigue. When you kill the dream, you just feel the energy rip, and that's when you're exhausted, sleepy, and it's just reactivating your mental focus, putting it in the right direction.
I love that. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. So
Yeah, I've loved this conversation. End with love. I
love this conversation too,
Yeah.
because I think this is really kind of it's kind of confirmed even more in terms of what I've been listening to, what I've been reading, what I've been documenting in my journal as well, in regards to, like, think big. Because I've just kept saying, like, as I'm writing, and even as I go through my devotional with Ayana Vanson, it's talking about, like, our thoughts, like, we have the power to create.
Yeah, we are creating the universe.
We are creative because we create every single day.
Yeah.
You create your day, you create the kind of day you're going to have, you could create the kind of mood you're going to be in. You even create the kind of people that you want to have kind of around you based on conversations you have, or even the people you're going to attract. Even like Louise Hay kept on saying that, even if you just walk down the road and just keep on saying that I'm so beautiful, then you start noticing people start smiling at you, and because you're affirming this by creating this, thought in your mind, because you're telling your subconscious mind, this is who I am.
It's funny you say that. I went to the Isle of Wight 3 weeks ago, and like I said, I was very bored there, very unhappy there as a kid. That was me. I went there, a completely different person, really looking forward to going there, really looking forward to seeing my family. It was amazing weather. I took my brother's dog out for a walk every day. Everyone was so pleasant. Hello, good morning. And I was like, I come back and said to my mum, I said, what the hell's happened? I said, am I in the dog walking club or something? Everyone I met was smiling, friendly, good morning. And I said, that never happened to me. But it was me. I've changed. It wasn't the Isle of Wight was changed. They were probably there doing that anyway. But when we're in the wrong frequency, we miss all the good. And we're just moving in amongst the, they say when you drive a car, if you hide your lane of traffic can be the one that's moving fast. If you're in a crabby mood while driving, you're stuck in the slow lane. Your energy our life's always reflecting back our frequency in every moment. So just choose to enjoy life. Call it the law of fun. I think law of attraction is a bit clunky.
That's what I was just about to say.
It's law of fun. It's law of fun. Just have fun. And go back to what you said, be the kid, activate the kid, all that stuff. What someone brilliantly said, that the party that your first guest said, the party's for 40 plus, and then someone in the comments said, I'm 38, can I go? Absolutely, demand to go. Make life work for you. Find stuff that you're going to enjoy and move towards it. Why watch it? Again, the TV analogy. Why watch some boring? So I said that word again. I won't ever say. Why watch some negative, life-sucking, pessimistic documentary when you can flick over and watch the most funniest comedy ever?
I know, like you telling me to watch Yes Man.
Yes.
I watched Yes Man like 3 times.
Yeah.
And anybody, if you're feeling low and you need to just laugh and you just seeing your life and you're just thinking, what the heck, what am I doing with my life? Watch Jim Carrey, Yes Man. You know, it's no longer free on Prime.
Yeah, and it's gone off
Prime.
Netflix as well. I think we did look
I
the
didn't
other
see it
day.
on Netflix, but it was on Prime, and now you got to pay for it. I just
Do you
think
know
it's
where you can always get it in Poundland in their DVD thing, or is it CEX? You can always get it in there. There's always copies of Yes
Who's
Men
got
for about
DVD player? But
one.
no one ain't
Well,
do DVD player.
Laptop. Your laptop.
Me?
I've got
On the
yeah,
laptop.
that
I don't have a drive on this laptop.
I do. I've got I've got a Blu-ray player and that. So I don't watch telly anymore. I watch my DVD and Blu-ray collection. I don't watch the broadcasts.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't watch much Netflix or anything. It doesn't stimulate me. There's nothing
Yeah,
there. It's all murder, isn't it? Everything's
It
murder.
affects your vibration. Like,
Yeah.
pretty much the same, Stephen. I don't
I watch
really...
Star Wars. I watch Disney
we
Plus.
can-
That's the only one I've got.
When you watch Disney Plus,
Because of Star Wars, they got Star Wars content. So
Oh, yeah.
that's the whole Netflix. I cancel Netflix.
Do you like the little mini series that they've got going on at the moment?
Yeah, they're good, aren't they? Yeah. And yeah,
Enjoy
that's
them.
what, my nieces watch it. They've got my account and they watch it far more than me, which is good. That's
I really
so I
like
know
that.
it's getting some. But when
The
Star
Boba
Wars
Fett
comes on,
one.
yeah, that was good. And there's a new one coming out. It's again
Yep.
the essence of the future. At the end, mid-September, there's a new Star Wars, Andor or something. It looks awesome. Yeah, so I'm excited. Again, the future, the optimism, and the just gets my
That's
energy.
nice. Every time I think of
Yeah.
you, Stephen, now I'm going to be thinking, may the force be with you, Stephen.
Absolutely. I'll do your may the force be with you. But what's it? There's a brilliant Star Wars at the Empire Strikes Back. There's a bit where Luke crashes his spaceship into the bog, can't get it out. Yoda says, "Do it. Use the Jedi. Use the Force." And he tries. It starts, and then it sinks. And then he goes, "You ask the impossible." And Yoda lifts it. He's tiny. That's the whole reason he's a tiny frog. And he lifts it, and Luke goes, "I don't believe it." And Yoda goes, "That is why you fail." It's all about belief. Star Wars told us. It's about belief.
I need to start watching Star Wars.
You what, sorry?
I need to start watching Star Wars.
You're about the only. Yeah, I tell everyone to watch Star Wars. Watch the original ones.
I think I watched the original when I was a kid because I had no choice. Because my mum used to work in a cinema, so we had to go to the cinema and watch all these different kind of movies and stuff. And I just wasn't really interested in Star Wars.
Star Wars is all about energy, the flow of energy, the yin and yang, the dark side and the good side. Yeah. It is emotional intelligence packaged.
I think maybe I didn't understand it. So maybe if I watch it now, I probably appreciate it more.
Yeah. I think that's where those classic literature and films are layered, aren't they? So you can watch something as a kid and you like the laser guns and the robots and the swords. And then when you watch it as an adult, you realise there's a whole nother level. It's sort of like The Simpsons. They say that, isn't it? That kids are watching Bart Simpson and loving the yellow, and then the adults are watching it going, "Whoa, this is a bit risque." The social satire and everything. Should my kid be watching this? And it's operating on two different levels, isn't it? Yeah. No, good art, good literature has that constantly different interpretations, so you have to keep going back to it. And because we've changed, that's one thing Abraham says, that because we've changed, you can read the same book again and again and find different meaning in it because you've changed, because we've changed. The book is not changed.
Exactly what Tremaine's put down in the comments. She said, when you change, your world changes.
The Isle of Wight has definitely changed for me.
And change
all those friendly dog walkers. I would say that realise everything is temporary. And one thing I meant to say is, I see every moment as perfect. I think what brings what they call resistant negative energy, which can result in pain. I think too many people, when you're unconscious of your thinking, we're judgmental and critical of the world. You know, this is happening to me, and this should be happening. So you create an energy rip. If you just say this is happening and it's perfect, everything in its own time. So again, you're talking yourself into your reality rather than denying it and saying, yeah, I'm here, but I should be over here. I think that's what leads to depression. That's what I did for 15 years. And once you just go with the flow, they do say life is a flow, flowing energy. It has to flow forward. That's where we have to be future focused. Too many people face reality. That kills the dream. Look further down the line. Get excited about your dream you moving towards your dream. And if you aren't excited, then you've got some talk yourself into that dream work to do. So
So
don't
how do you
kill the
get
dream.
excited about the electricity and gas rising up?
There's going to change. You're not the only one in this situation. There's a lot of activity. There's a lot of huge debate about it. It's going to resolve itself. I think it's highlighting a lot of corporate corruption, and it's brought a conversation to the table that has been needed for years and has never. So that's the weird thing about this, that we're going through such turbulent. We're in the tumble dryer now, aren't we, of life? It's got all this stuff is like, on the table for debate. The whole political system, isn't it? Everything now. The tech and if you know about the World Economic Forum and all that, and the whole jab thing, and the place of medicine in the world, as opposed to the what came out, the promise of the Second World War, the Nuremberg Code, that no one would be coerced into having any experimental, and that's just been jettisoned in the last war. It's big stuff that we're clearly the mass psyche is needing to go through to step up. So again, we're going through this to step up, to come out the next level as much more conscious, empowered. How many people just allowed stuff to happen to them because the television said and the government said? I think the people that opposed it were aware of their power. It's like, no, hang on a minute, where am I in the scheme of things? I'm not just being told, because that's where it went wrong before, isn't it? That's where it's gone wrong in the past, that people just do what they're told.
Yeah, but I think it's because it's going back to the programming.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't really understand that they are programmed.
Yeah.
So even if you do say, you're programmed and, you have the power to do X, Y, Z, or you have the power of this and things like that, people don't understand that type of language. So it's really hard for them to, accept or believe what you're saying, because their belief in a system.
I think what just hearing you say that, I think when you allow yourself to be programmed, you're not conscious of your power. As soon as you step into your power, and that's on a mental level, that you're just aware of where you are and how does this feel to me? Because the beginning of the pandemic, I felt very off. I was like, I don't believe what I'm being told here. This all seems my gut told me, the force, call it the force.
Yeah.
My gut was like, no way is this. I turned off after 2 weeks, because every day, do you remember the stats, the death toll date, and all those 5 p.m. talks and all that? And I remember thinking, if I just go into this, there's one point where every day at 5 p.m. Boris would do their presentation to a room full of like 300 journalists. And then didn't Boris get COVID and have to be isolated? But what the rules of COVID were that anyone you've been in close proximity to also has to isolate. So all those 300 journalists logically would have had to have isolated as well. Did they? No, it made no sense. But when you're not just believing what you're told, and again, I wasn't ever in fear. And I think a lot of people, you've got no power when you're in fear. Fear is at the bottom of the emotional scale, and I just wasn't. I was like, I don't believe this. And again, all the spiritual, the 10 years of meditation, the habitual positive thinking, my belief system was so anti what we were being told, that no, this is a loving universe, this is a kind universe. I don't believe we're about to be annihilated by this thing. I just didn't believe it. I still don't believe a lot of what is happening, and that's ultimately just switched off the telly. I create my own reality. Again, going back to the very beginning of I decide what my reality is, what the world holds for me. I'm not being told by some box in the corner that. And they used to call the BBC Auntie Beeb as if it was a family member, didn't they?
I have no idea. I just
know. They did. It was.
I never heard of that before.
Yeah, Auntie Terry Wogan and Auntie Beeb and all that. Yeah, Auntie. They called it Auntie. Yeah.
Auntie B.
As if it was our friend.
Not so friendly statue outside of their residence. By the way, we'll leave that for another time.
Oh, sorry.
I can't hear you. Say that again.
I said a not so friendly statue outside the BBC residence where it's situated, but I suppose we're going to have to leave that for another day to talk about.
What? Who's there?
Okay, so there's a particular
Yeah, I
statue that's been outside there for a very long time. Look into it. You'll be very
Okay. Yeah.
surprised.
Okay.
So can you not just tell us, like, what the topic?
It's cryptic. It's cryptic.
Oh,
It's a bit off topic, but what I'm saying to you,
Yeah,
when you
okay.
said answer, my mind went back to, okay, so recently, because of everything that's been happening, that people have been protesting, okay, about, you know, the news and how biased it is. So in going out to the BBC, there is a statue which is done by a known paedophile outside of the
Right.
BBC.
Okay.
And so
But that's been exposed, hasn't it? Jimmy
yes,
Savile and all that in the last 10.
yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of truths coming home.
And so obviously the BBC and the BBC, they're not going to cover that, are they? Like, oh, by the way, yeah, we've had this statue and we've been endorsing it for however long.
Yeah.
So
oh, I see. Eric Gill,
yeah.
who has
Wow,
said this
I
is
did not know
according
that.
to this is what I'm reading on the Independence. Everybody, this is not our information. This is what they're telling us. They said it's Eric Gill who is said to have sexually abused two of his daughters, has been on display at has been on display at Broadcasting House since 1933, and the corporation
Did not know
defended its decision not to remove or replace the work. Oh, what the? Hold on a second, huh? Did I just read that correctly?
And recently, I think
I didn't know this. I did not know
a
that.
few
Yeah.
months ago, a guy actually climbed up there and started chiseling. Like, you won't take it down, I'll take it down. And obviously,
Okay.
was arrested for that act.
But then this is so wrong. But then this is what England does anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
England is very much that country that does not take no what's the word I'm looking for?
There's a class system in it, and you do as we've been told. That's our programming. We will do as we're told by the upper echelons, and that's
It's wrong.
changing. It's all been exposed now. It is. We are moving towards. We're going to go through turbulence. But it's the same again. I think it's Bob Proctor says that when a plane takes off, it goes through turbulence before. It's an essential part of the flight sequence to then be able to cruise at a certain level, and we're going to a higher frequency, and there's turbulence, and all the spiritual stuff that I read, I kind of read it. I don't really go, but they say we're moving from a 3D Earth to a 5D.
5D.
I don't think they mean the glasses. I don't think they mean the 3D glasses. But we're going to. There's a massive frequency shift. Yeah. And that could play out over 200 years. I don't think it's going to be. Or even 2,000 years is nothing in the span of the universe, isn't it? So who knows how long this is going to play out over. But there's, without a doubt, we're experiencing. I remember when I was at school studying history, I won't say the B word because you've told me it's a cuss word, but I remember thinking that my current reality...
Oh, the boring.
You said it. Yeah. I remember thinking, God, the 1980s are so dull. Whereas when you're reading like about the French Revolution and Nazi Germany and everything, but now I think there's going to be whole books written about the 21st century, COVID, and what we've all gone through, and this is going to be A-level history papers kind of thing, essay questions.
But there was books there
huge.
before. But there was books about COVID before we even knew about COVID.
Yeah. Well, this is one of the other things, isn't it? There was, but just the fact, the way society has been subjected to by certain powers that be. But in the same way they've been, it's ironic because the tech has enabled them to do so much with all the censorship, but the tech has also enabled so many alternative voices to come through.
Yeah.
And so the tech has been serving the powers that be, plus also their biggest enemy. So it's all very strange energies in there at the moment. But do you know what? I've got to say, this is just me. No offense meant to anyone. I'm loving life right now. I've had the most stimulating conversations with my parents about all this that I've ever had with them. And they're in their 70s, and I'm going to see them this weekend, and we'll no doubt have a conversation. And I've never, it has been about TV programs or what do you want for dinner and all that before. Now we're having really stimulating, really meeting our minds conversations, and it's because of what we've gone through. And it's really, it's life. Brilliant. Is how anyone can watch telly. I just think real life is far more stimulating than Netflix. Anything on Netflix, it's like
true.
Look
I think it depends on the individual, because a lot of people will watch it because of the escapism,
they're wanting to escape
and things like that. So I totally get it. Tremaine the life guide says, okay ladies, have to love you and leave you. Thanks Steve, great show. I enjoyed this sharing of the happy and positive conversation. You're very welcome. Good night, sis. And on that note, I think it's time for us to get ready to go as well. So Steve, what lasting words do you want to give to our listeners and those who are catching the replay?
I'd say it's conscious thinking. It's about where you're focusing your mind. Be aware of where you're focusing your mind and how it feels. Get excited about your future. Talk yourself into whatever you want. Be your best friend ever. Be your number one fan. And enjoy it. Life is, you can either endure or enjoy life. Choose to enjoy. Consciously choose to enjoy it. We're all here for a passage in time, aren't we? We're not. None of it's permanent. So enjoy it. Make it the law of fun. Make the law of fun work for you. If you're having fun, you're going to get more of it.
Law of fun.
And finally, that which side is it on? That is me. Remember, that is me.
That's see the resemblance. Like,
have you seen the other? Look at that. That's who I used to be. That was it.
But the middleman.
That one there. That was me. That was my 15 years.
That was me this morning. That was me this morning, man.
It takes more facial muscle to frown than it does to smile. So my last words: get out in nature more, smile more, and sprinkle love around like it's confetti.
Yes. Whoa.
Love that. Sprinkle it like as if it was confetti.
What brilliant words to end. Thank you so much. You can find out if you want to find out more about me.
Connect with you.
MrHappiness2000.com. That's my website. I do haven't been doing it over the summer, but I do monthly free Zoom StreamYard. I do a free hour-long thing on different happiness topics every month, so people can find that on it's all on the website, and there's a meetup group that I've got. You can join that and then find out about it. And I'm gonna write a book at some point. That's not forcing it, but that's a desire. So it's going to be called How to Get Happy and Stay Happy.
Ooh,
that's what it's going to be called.
And
I probably will start doing actual workshops again at some point. But
love that.
Enjoy life. Enjoy.
Amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. I have loved this evening. I've loved your and we manifested. Well, you manifested this, Carol. We joint managed because we spoke about this, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
We won't go into detail, but when I first met Carol, we never did what we were supposed to do. We would just and it was supposed to be 10-minute conversations. It was supposed to be 10-minute conversations that went on over an hour.
Stephen, why are you giving away my government name? Why?
Exposure.
Big expose my government name. Could we just stick to the Kaz and don't even
Kaz.
Surname?
Kaz. Well, I meant Kaz. 10 minutes. We didn't do 10 minutes. I told you were too interesting. That's what I used to say when you're too interesting.
I know, right?
You'll get me told off. You're too interesting. That's what I used to say.
Oh gosh, I'll share that information at some stage at later time in life, and then you guys be like, wow.
No, it's cool. That's how we met. That's how we met, isn't it? And this is the result of that meeting. Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed it.
And thank you for being the positive energy that I've needed, especially in the middle cloud days. I'm literally going to put it a midi cloud. I'm going for a mini I'm going through
the blue cloud. The blue
cloud
cloud.
stage right now. Yeah.
But you can't be that one. You can be that
I'll
one.
go over to that one, but I'm leaning to Mr. Happiness.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when I do look at that, I do think of my childhood. I don't know why, it just got that childhood, inner child,
Yeah. Yeah.
look about. And I think that's one of the things that I'm finding. I know we're supposed to be wrapping up, is we're not tapping into our childhood as much. I know Miss T is the living, like, she is the queen of being a kid at heart all the time, just like, like whatever, like just rolling. And I'm just like, no, it's got to be like this, and and I'm just, I'm a reflection of my upbringing.
I've got to say, this is just my word of wisdom. The older you get, the more you get away with. That's what I've learned. Because people used to always call me immature, and I used to take that offensive. And then I kind of realised I was young. Of course, I was immature, and now I am still really immature. But no one can call me that now
because you're an adult.
So,
and you found a lot of wisdom, so much wisdom, Stephen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sharing is amazing. Yeah.
I think I need to accept my youthfulness like you then.
Be immature.
Just be immature.
Be that rebel. Activate the rebel.
You enjoy life more when you just be immature.
I can coach you with that, Kaz.
Yes.
I bet you can. And that means I might not even turn up on the show at the right time if I start being immature. I'm just saying.
Be that rebellious.
Oh my
gosh. Because Stephen, she's very disciplined. Like you do turn up and you've been consistent. And I think that's one thing that we didn't actually touch on was the discipline of once you start, obviously what you were saying with your meditation is that you've been consistent and disciplined with it. Kaz is disciplined with her exercise, you know? So if you
that's how we achieve anything, isn't it? Like driving lessons. You just you crash the car when you first start, but somehow you end up through repetition and sticking with it. You end up being able to drive on motorways, zoom all over the place. Yeah.
I recently
just
read
through repetition.
That discipline is really self-love.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's wise. Yeah.
That's really interesting. Okay, on that note, we are wrapping up. Thank you so much, Stephen.
No, thank you. I've loved tonight. I've loved you both. I must meet you in person.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Keep me in your channel. Let me know what's going on. I'll follow you on the thing anyway, so I'll get the YouTube notifications when your next show's on and that. So, yeah. I'll be a regular. I'll start sending comments through now, like Miss B and Tremaine, you're like, Mr. Happiness says, he's saying this.
And let us know when we need to come and audition for your next.
The world is going to know, don't worry. And Kaz, got your name right.
I'm definitely going to be there.
Kaz is going to be in the inner circle, so she'll be able to inform. Yeah.
I've already got my part. Remember the first time I met you, Steve?
Yeah. I remember I said you're a TV presenter, aren't you?
I was like...
I said you've got a vibe. You've got a vibe of TV presenter.
I can hear you. And they've locked up Tommy, and Tommy's he's over there with his father. And anyway, so that was a little acting. I'm not giving away no more information. I'm not giving away no more information, no more than that. Who knows? That's all I can say.
Yeah, watch this space.
Watch this space.
The power of manifestation.
Terrible acting just then. It was good at the time. But anyway, good night. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, everyone. See you soon.
Good night.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, that was amazing. Oh my gosh. Do you feel happy, Miss T? Do you feel joyful?
Yeah, but even more so today, because I know that when I smile a lot, my cheeks here, they will ache and they're achy. So I've been smiling more than usual today. And I love that.
Yeah. I mean, to be quite honest, our previous conversations has been quite intense. So I think it was quite nice to have something a lot more lighter, a lot more engaging, and a lot more fun, It's just not, it wasn't intense of, like this mad debates. But yeah, it was great. But guys, those who knows about the African spiritual practices, I just thought I'd just send out this information now. You could purchase your 50% ticket for the upcoming event, which will be taking place at the 14th and the 15th of October. It will be at the Rich Mix, which is in Shoreditch. And yeah, it was absolutely mind blowing. So do check out the spiritual practices. You can read more about them on their Eventbrite, and also if you go to Akua's page as well, you can read out more, and you can even see some clips from the event previous events as well, so you get a kind of sense of what to expect. But I will say this: if you can go for the 2 days, go for the 2 days. If you can't go for the 2 days, just choose at least one day and just go there from AM to the end of the night, because there's so much wisdom, there's so much richness that will be shared, and it will transform your life. I believe the theme is what does it mean to be human? That's an interesting topic. And also, guys, what else? Is there anything else I need to mention? Cam Awards as well. I believe that's going to be showcasing very soon. So do check out camawards.co.uk. You can also find out about them on Instagram. So do make sure you're following them on all their social media. And of course, this weekend, this Friday, the ladies' first event, we did share that information. I'll share the flyer just in case those who are coming into the conversation a bit late. There is an event, and I will be there DJing as well. I'm going to spin some 9,000 tracks as well. So I'm going to be doing like 90s and 2000 tracks. So you can go down there, and I believe that's 126 West Green Road. That's in London, North 15. If you want further information, do go over to Instagram and follow Ladies Events. Yeah, Ladies Events. And then you can get more information there. And it's going to be great. And ladies, do come with your heels, because there will be a model workshop, which is a free event. That's all going to be happening from 7 to 8:30 p.m. That's for the model workshop. I'm going to be there. I'm going to show you guys what it means to walk in your heels. Pray for me, because I'm not going to drop. I'm just saying, I'm going to walk in my Converse.
I saw this lady drop at the festival at the weekend. Like,
did you help her?
Did I laugh?
Did you help her? So what did
no,
you
she'd
do?
already. I was doing something. I was busy. She was with her friends. Her friends helped her, but no, I didn't laugh at her. The person I was with laughed, and I was like, "That's not very nice." She was like, "Well, she was showing off," and I was like, "So she feels good in her heels. So what? She's out at a festival." But yes, it was on the dirt track. Like, there were big heels, and like, I don't know, like, it just wasn't the best choice for a festival. But
right.
Hey, and I think she stayed down. She stayed on the ground for quite a while. I think that she felt quite humiliated.
Embarrassed.
She was embarrassed.
Yeah, that's like I would do.
There was 3 of them, and they had these awesome shoes on, because I can remember looking at the shoes thinking, wow, those are some heels. And yeah, because I was in flats and my feet were hurting me because I'd been there all day. So I was thinking, I don't know what I'm doing. But I heard her fall, but I didn't want them to, it's not nice. It's hard enough when it's embarrassing, isn't it? So definitely. I didn't focus. I looked, I asked, "You okay?" The friend said she'll be okay. We got them. And then I moved on. If she was in trouble, I would have got first aid for her, or I would have given her first aid.
Oh,
yes.
Bless.
So practicing your heels.
Yes. So ladies, we're going to show you the video one more time. So guys, make sure you go down there. That will be this coming Friday. And I look forward to meeting some of you guys in person. And yeah, have a wonderful rest of the week. And anything else you want to say before we sign out, Miss T?
No, just have a wonderful weekend. And I'll see you next week. Be blessed, be happy.
Stay beautiful, stay blessed. Ciao.
Bye.